Hello, beautiful. We are super excited to say that RWBY Volume 1 is coming to theaters this April, and you can go see it thanks to our partnership with Tug. All you gotta do is go to teamruby.com, find a location, buy your ticket, and hopefully enjoy the show. Again, that's teamruby.com. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Hey.
This week brought to you by episode of the podcast features Gus,
Gavin,
Barbara, Bernie,
and Gus. And
Hey.
I want to remind everyone who's watching this episode on YouTube that we stream our podcast live every Monday night at roosterteeth.com. If you want to check in the info in the description below, you can see more information about it and getting a 30-day free trial so that you can watch us screw it all up live, and then we just cut out all the bad stuff.
or make fun of your tweets. Speaking of which, I'm going into Twitter right now.
Don't do
If
it.
you want to, tweet us at hashtag RTPodcast.
Hashtag
Are you gonna
RT
block anyone?
podcast.
Also, if you're an audio listener, we do this. There's a video version of this podcast.
Yeah, you can get it on YouTube or
YouTube.
on
So
Basically, however you're
roosterteeth.com.
consuming the
Or
podcast
you can do that
is
sponsor
wrong.
thing. We do
If you watch only the video thing, you can subscribe to it on iTunes. Look up Rooster Teeth Podcast. If you get it on iTunes, you can also get it on
All
Google
right,
Play.
all right.
Also the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Don't you think people
Tune
listening-
in, iHeartRadio.
know that it's video at this point, considering the amount of visual references we do.
Maybe they're
every
like, God, those guys are just terrible at describing stuff.
Do you know what's weird about the Rooster Teeth podcast is that I feel like
we keep making it.
that first of all, but like
Cold as
that
ice.
if people have been viewing Rooster Teeth for a really long period of time, that the longer someone's been there, the more likely that they listen to the podcast. But it's the podcast. I've never met anybody. It's like, how'd you hear about Rooster Teeth? They're like, oh, I just heard your podcast one day. I've never heard that before. I've heard like
have.
almost everything was a vector for starting to watch Rooster Teeth content. Like
met a
Red
few
vs. Blue
people.
or an Achievement Hunter or Rage Quit video is a big one.
I feel like you have to really like the people to listen to the
Yeah,
podcast.
I feel like we used to have it for a while, and then once Animated Adventure started getting produced regularly, that
That's what it
became
is.
the intro vector
That
into
is,
the podcast.
you're right.
So
People,
it cannibalized
I
it.
have heard that people like a ton of people saw an RTAA and then binge watched like 100 of them.
Right, because it's like the one funny minute out of the 90-minute podcast.
That's it.
Animated
Binge.
makes us look
Someone
good.
once told me that they started listening to the podcast backwards. Like they started from the most recent and then went backwards.
I
From
thought
Oh, you mean
that. No, not
in
from
reverse
start
order.
to or finish.
It's like a
to start.
weird way to do it.
Wait, what's so cool about doing that?
I don't know.
Oh.
They're just like, oh, I'm on podcast 140. Next is 139, and I'm like, why are you going backwards? Like, just-
I guess.
So
that
somebody
would
on
be
Twitter
kinda
just said they still don't understand that TV on your wall. What? Oh, they're talking about my.
yours.
Okay.
Oh, don't
never
bring
mind.
that
Let's
up
not,
again.
let's not even get.
You're
into
the one who
that.
brought it up.
No, I thought there was a TV on the set that they were talking
Can
about.
I bring something up?
Yeah.
You two sons of bitches, both of you.
Me?
What did I
Gus,
do?
Gus knows what I'm talking about.
I didn't do anything.
Why are you smirking?
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
So last week we had delicious steak
Great state.
on the podcast. What we didn't mention, because we haven't done a podcast since, is that I spent the entire night with Vom and Bumwee.
What happened? Explain to me what happened.
One of you pricks gave me food
Who
poisoning.
else
is
got
what happened.
sick?
Nope. No.
All right, so
nobody.
what?
No one got sick.
I will say this. He did eat a lot more of your steak because
I had a lot of your
he
steak.
declared you the winner, and I noticed because
say-
I'm insecure about that I watched every time Gavin over the course of the podcast went to get a bite, he would get a bite out of yours and not mine. I was
Someone
getting affected
told
by
me
that.
they ate all of my leftover steak. Who was it? It was the intern.
The intern.
Brian.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
what
is
it
that the kid we're having the funeral for next week?
Brian did not get sick, so
It was violent.
we,
know what it
we
might have
also
been?
shared the knife though. So any contamination from your steak
That's
would
super
put on the
delicate.
knife.
Here's what I like
That's
about
how-
it. He
that's how it
clearly ate
works.
more of your steak.
Cross-contamination.
Clearly the poisoning came from your steak.
Clearly that is not true.
Barbara ate way more of my steak, and
did.
she's fine.
Everyone ate every steak. Nobody got sick. How am I being
But
persecuted?
how did I get sick?
Maybe it was
like,
the
I was
piece-
sick for one night.
Maybe it was the piece that we shared. Maybe like my germs plus the steak like is no good
maybe
for
it's
you.
your dirty
Let's-
mouth.
let's also
can
point
gonorrhea
out-
give you diarrhea?
They both got rhea.
Absolutely, it can.
What is what does that mean? What is the RIA? It's like discharge. What's the gono?
Gonna go to the toilet right now.
But that's the wrong one.
But I will say this about Gavin and eating the steak. I don't know that we can blame the steak. You get food poisoning way more than anyone I've ever met in my
That
life.
is bollocks. A, that's bollocks. And B, I've had food poisoning like 4 times ever.
That is bollocks.
That's
that is bollocks.
3 more times than I have.
Didn't you poop your pants on a date with Meg?
Yes.
Was
So
that food poisoning?
look,
That was one of the times. Then there was the Salt Lick time.
These are all like in the last couple of years.
What else did you eat that day?
A bowl of cereal?
What did you eat on the Meg
I had cereal.
Poop Your Pants Day?
Vagina. What?
I think I had bad. I think
Snuck that one in.
I think I had
Barbara's,
like
that was it. Barbara's done for the
Barbara's
podcast.
out. Just get the mic and just drop it.
I think I went and had like shrimps or something with Alan.
Shrimps.
Yeah, and I got food poisoning.
You know what it
off
could
that.
be? It could be because you're coming from your UK diet of whatever you guys eat over there, grass.
Maybe there wasn't enough mad cow in our beef.
What?
There
You
wasn't
said
enough
grass
mad.
and pigeons?
What do they eat in England?
There wasn't enough mad cow in our beef for him, so his body rejected it.
Good one, guys.
But it could be you're not used
Classic,
to high fat content
mad
because if you go to
cow
Salt Lake, super high fat content. That steak that he made was
That was a fatty steak.
like a wall
But I
of
didn't-
marbled beef.
I feel like sometimes. Okay, I just remember another time I got food poisoning, but I had like a
list
gammy
goes on.
mussel. I was like eating mussels and a bunch of other like seafood, and I had one. And I was like, I'm gonna shit later, and I did. Just bum weed.
But even the fact that you know that you have a lower tolerance for food poisoning. I've never gotten food poisoning, as far as I know.
what are you on about?
we should do
So
a
you've
podcast
never-
where we
I
purposely
Never
think,
had
I think
it.
you
food
said you
poisoning.
thought you think you had it one time.
I think I might have had it one time.
So you've never eaten and then thrown it up later?
No,
You're
not because of the food. No.
You're like Bruce Willis in Unbreakable, but when it comes to eating food,
But that sounds about right for me. That's exactly.
Samuel
what it
Jackson's
is.
gonna come and make you like a fucking
he's-
salmonella dish.
Unbreakable.
He's like Mr. Glass. It's
You
like
also get
anything.
food poisoning a lot,
You had
Gus.
Salt
I
Lick
do.
poisoning.
You
Yep.
and Esther, I think, get food poisoning more than anybody I know.
I get food poisoning a lot.
Because
When-
he's cooking steaks all the damn time.
No,
Good
no,
point.
I get
Good
food
point.
poisoning, but not at home. That's why I'm so meticulous about cleaning everything. You can ask everyone. I spent like 2 hours washing all of my utensils that day.
I don't think I would have got it from cereal.
What did you have
Milk?
the night before, though? Because sometimes it could be a little delayed. Did you have anything in England? Or on the plane?
Did
I
you
don't
eat
remember.
shrimp on the plane?
No.
That's like the worst idea. Why do they serve seafood on planes?
I don't know.
I don't like seafood.
Nobody watch Airplane?
I wouldn't eat it. I would
And a
Fish.
definitely-
plane
You
is
had
the
the
opposite
fish.
of the sea.
You're right. That is as far away from the sea
Yeah.
as you can get.
Also, it just seems like a bad idea to cook seafood on a plane. Just the smell. You're in such a closed
I
environment.
don't know if they're cooking it on the plane.
They heat it
warming
up.
Well, they heat it.
You're getting
That's-
some waft.
Yeah, you get waft.
Shrimp
Sure.
waft.
When they make the cookies, you smell the cookies, right?
That's
I
good.
don't get cookies. You get cookies on planes?
You can smell them. They make them in first class. You can smell them all over the plane.
First class people are kind of poncy with those cookies. They're like, no, I'm good. I'm always like, yeah, I'll have the cookie.
Give me this
Crazy.
cookie.
Have you ever seen when they try to sneak cookies or ice cream back into the economy? It's like the flight attendant, like if they have an extra cookie or an extra sundae, and the flight attendant in the back wants it, like the flight attendant first class will get it, put it on a tray, and then cover it with a napkin, and then walk through economy so nobody sees it, and they like hide out in the galley in the back of the plane.
On the flight I just took from England back to Austin, there was an error with the plane. Plane messed up, so we had to get off and get back on. And as we got off, Dan took mental note of all of the seats in business class that weren't taken. So when we got back on, he was like, I know that there's no one in that seat. So he just sat in that seat.
They have a
But
manifest.
yeah, they have a manifest. They check it.
And he got his ass kicked out of first class.
Did he really? He just sat in a first class
Yeah,
seat?
I was like, I bet you should. I think you should do it. You might get away with it.
How did you not film that? Did you film it?
Yeah, I filmed him getting kicked out.
Oh, that's the best
How
thing
did
ever.
they do it? Were they so polite about it? Or were they
They were like, oh, the woman was like, I didn't have anyone in the seat on my iPad here. And he was like, oh, yeah, I just got it. Like, I upgraded at the counter.
Oh,
And
you
and
tried
then-
to lie?
Yeah, and then she was like, oh, okay, I'll be right back. Let me check. And he just bolted out of first class. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
he-
good.
Did he not think they don't have like a system to check that?
He did not.
Yeah.
He did not.
It's also the fact that Dan looks like Dan.
And apparently, like,
Was he wearing his
salmon
salmon shorts?
Well, the thing is that because a lot of those seats you face someone. There's like a divider,
Yeah.
but you start off and you got someone facing the other way. So he sat down and the guy was like, "Where'd you come from?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
I'm your son.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm
Shut
just-
up.
yeah.
That's where I came
Keep your
from.
fucking mouth shut.
That's where he should have been like, Daddy?
But yeah, like everyone in economy who could like hear the conversation, they were like cheering him on, like, "Oh, it was worth a try. You almost made it."
I love
And
it.
everyone in first class was like, "Get out of it, you scum."
Well, they paid a lot of money for
Yeah,
that.
they did.
One time I had a thing where I was coming back from one of our trips to Australia, and I remember I specifically spent $78 to upgrade to the exit row, which on an international flight, on one of those big planes, it's like got like 5 or 6 rows of leg
Yeah.
room there. The only problem is that's where people come and stand
Yep.
and they step on your feet. But it's still nice because you can like put your legs all the way out. So I paid $78 for that seat, and it was 2 seats in that little section in that aisle, and nobody was in that other seat. So I was like, I'm gonna have an empty seat next to me, and I'm gonna have all that leg room. Then like a minute before the plane takes off, the biggest fucking dude on the plane, he was like 6'6" and weighed about 300 pounds, was like, can I move to that other seat? And the steward's like, I don't care. And I was like, I paid $78 for this seat, and now this guy's like cramming me into the fucking wall for 13 hours of a flight. And it's just like, great. Next time I'll just steal a fucking seat, just like everybody else.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still an empty seat. I don't care. It shouldn't bother me. But it's like, I felt like I got ripped off now because this guy got his fucking free seat.
That would bother
basically. I should got a refund.
Yeah.
From Qantas. How dare you?
Oh, you actually got it refunded?
No,
He
we
said
should.
he should.
Oh.
What does Qantas stand for? Do you know?
Qantas?
thought it
Queens. It's the different territories.
Nope. I don't think so.
Queensland.
I know that you read it out like a few months ago.
We did on here?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. We won't do that again then. Someone go back and listen to the podcast and find
We
out.
did? Am I right then?
Queensland.
Yeah, Queensland and Northern Territory
Quiet
Aerial Service.
and
Okay.
So not all of the territories, but
talkative
some of them.
That's you were
and
not, you were
silent.
Hey, two.
You
of
do
them.
acknowledge that you were
Also,
incorrect.
it's
Two of
not Qantas. There's no U.
Cantus.
It's
Qantas.
Cantus.
You say Qantas?
No, I mean, it's Qantas. It's just not spelled that way.
How do you pronounce a Q without the U sound ever?
K.
We don't.
Quilt? Quiet?
What do you mean?
All have U's.
I'm trying to think of a word that has a Q and no U.
I love my
like,
kilt.
Why'd you pick quilt then?
I'm just
Oh,
going
you're just
through
trying to-
words. What are words that begin with Q?
Hey, it's just words with friends.
Give me a word that begins with Q that doesn't have the U sound.
I can
in it.
only think of like Chinese words, right? Like names that have like QI.
That's not a real language, though.
I don't think. Is there a word
Just
that's
trying to help.
Q that
Well, not in
doesn't
English,
follow
because
by
that would be
a U?
an incorrect word, wouldn't it?
K.
You might as well have a C or a K. We've already got enough of them.
Or an A or an I.
An A?
Kicks the video game.
Yeah,
Hey,
but that's not a
kids.
real word.
Really, is there any word that has a Q and doesn't have a U after it?
Let us know.
It's probably like
Hashtag
the name
RT
of an
podcast.
animal or something, like a kikuk or something like that.
Oh, the Keekwik. What does the Keekwik look like again?
That's the noise it makes.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about about this thing here. I want to thank Pizza Hut for helping sponsor this podcast, and as part of it, we've developed a segment that we want to call the feed.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you nailed
You're supposed to go to the wide.
Nailed it. They got me looking at it.
So
In my head, there's someone under that table, like steering it with their
I
legs.
hope so.
That was a good move.
So as part of the feed, we're gonna
Autonomous table driving.
be giving some stuff away. We're gonna be giving away swag. You see our model back here with some of our Pizza Hut swag here, and maybe not
wanted to
that
take
pair
them
of
off.
sunglasses. They're taped on. We'll be giving away swag and a $25 gift card to whoever can successfully answer our Retro Bites trivia question. And we're also going to give away 2 runner-up prizes, a $25 gift card each, to 2 other people who aren't quite as lucky as the guy who gets, or the girl who gets all the swag. So
Explain the retro connection.
I will in just a second.
Okay.
So when I ask the trivia question, if you want to answer, use on Twitter, use hashtag RTPodcast and hashtag the feed, and we'll pick a winner before the end of the podcast.
feed.
live
Can I
stream.
eat
I
one
get
of
it.
the chicken
Yeah, you see?
wings?
That's good.
Can I
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
one
If you
of
want, you knock yourself out. You can eat some of the
Just the
wings and the
cookie.
pizza.
You want some cookie?
So Pizza Hut is sponsoring the Retro Bites arcade at our PAX East
this?
booth. We're gonna have a huge booth, and if you go into PAX East, we're gonna have a bunch of retro arcade games set up, and it's kind of the thought behind the retro aspect. So the trivia question is, if you want to answer, how many dots are on the first maze in Miss Pac-Man, not counting the power pellets? So just answer us on Twitter using hashtag RTPodcast and hashtag the feed, and we'll pick a winner.
If
just
anybody
like
knows
first
that
class.
off the top of their head, I will be amazed.
We're picking a winner to send all the swag, $25. We're also going to send 2 runner-ups, $25 gift cards each. So we're super happy to have Pizza Hut joining us and help us create this portion of the podcast called The Feed.
Oh my gosh, looks so good.
Pizza Hut's going to be joining us with their Retro Bites arcade this coming weekend at PAX East. And to help let everybody know we created The Feed. We're going to be giving out some Pizza Hut swag as well as Pizza Hut gift cards to our listeners and viewers who can answer a trivia question about one of the games, which was Miss Pac-Man. And again, the question is, how many dots are on the first maze in Miss Pac-Man, not counting the power pellets? I also want to mention that Pizza Hut has graciously agreed to send pizza to some watch parties around the country who are watching the RT podcast live tonight. So if you are having a watch party and someone knocks on your door, answer it, because we may have sent you pizza along with Pizza Hut. So thanks. I thought it was a really cool benefit.
How did we get their address?
I think we did some clever social manipulation
spying.
to some pizza spying
Bye,
to get their stuff.
mannequin.
So bye, mannequin, and we'll revisit it later. I'll pick some winners before the end of the
That was
podcast,
so well synchronized.
and just tweet us hashtag RT
Hey,
podcast. and
the crew
hashtag
member who's
the
moving
feed.
the table, I just wanted to let you know, I see you. I remember you. Took away our pizza. We got the cookie though. We kept the cookie. If you win that $25 gift card, use it all on cookies. That's what I would say.
You get
pretty
5
good.
things off the $5 menu.
They're so good.
Johnson, help there?
Is there an opener?
Oh, here. You want this one?
Oh, thanks.
I think there's an opener stuck in our broken table.
Boop.
Oh, that was good.
All right.
So going back to the airline discussion, and this will be Bernie's 2 minutes to talk about the Amazing Race. Although Ashley wants to do an Amazing Race mini podcast, like where we talk about it.
we should do that. I like hearing you talk about it.
Top 6 teams, man. We're right there. We're getting towards the end. I was actually on there was a team last year on the Amazing Race on season 27. Isn't that crazy, Gus? Season 27.
Yeah, it's a lot of
The
seasons.
green team, Justin and Diana.
That was a good season.
They were unbelievably dominant in that season.
He was
And
like the Amazing Race super fan.
he proposed
like-
to her using he put together his own Amazing Race.
He
And when the
under- he,
producers
like-
found out about it, they put him on the show.
It's weird to say, but he was a student of the game. Like he understood. Like he had a lot of strategy that I think worked out really well.
the only
for
reason
them.
you knew that is because he fucking said it every 10 seconds.
He did say it a lot.
Which drove some people nuts. And
I
there was
loved it.
lots of really cool stuff that happened in that season. But they were an exceptionally dominant team. I want to think they got 7 first place finishes.
It was 7. Yeah, I think they tied the record, right?
They were gonna
for most in a row.
Gonna tie the record, I think. If on the last leg they were going in for that. So, but I was on their podcast. They do every Sunday night. They do a podcast, and I was on it last night. It's Classic One Media. YouTube.com/Classic One Media.
It's very
if you want to
insightful.
go watch that. But one of the things is we were just talking about seats. They didn't show it last night. We raced to Dubai, and the thing that our team was known for isn't a really fun thing to watch on TV, which is I would do a ton of research. That we had this system where early in the race where the models would talk us into an airport lounge, or even in some cases they would talk me into a store in an airport, like in Colombia, and convince the person at the counter, the checkout counter, to let me use their computer. And then I would sit there behind the counter and I would look up okay, we're going to Colombia, Cartagena. Here's some landmarks. We know we knew we were going to Totemo, the mud volcano. So I looked it all up and got some information. There's actually a behind the scenes on YouTube, which shows where I left a note at the mud volcano for the models. We worked out the system because they were on a later
I
flight.
assume you shared all that information with the models.
Yeah, well, I would just they would get me in somewhere, and then I would just feed them information. They'd have a small little book by the time we left of printouts and stuff like that. And in Dubai, I had made a map. The models are gone. Spoiler by this point, they didn't make it past Geneva. But I had a map that I had drawn of Dubai, which was basically just a referential map, which was different landmarks. Here's the Burj Khalifa, here's the Palm Jumeirah, here's Atlantis, all the major landmarks. So if I knew I was at this landmark, I knew which direction I had to go to the next one, which really helped us because we were driving ourselves in this one. And but that's the kind of thing that's they don't really, that's boring travel directions stuff,
Right.
but it really made the difference for us. And that the other thing that I used to do all the time was we would jockey for position when we were on the same plane, where just being in row 9 versus being in row 10 meant you could run through the airport faster than everybody else. Because, if you're 3 rows back, that can be 5 minutes.
Right.
While, no offense, assholes are getting their stuff out, of the overhead bins and everything. Everybody just goes
Everyone's
so
slow.
Everybody goes so slow. And so there was one time when I talked my way up to better seats, and there were other rows around us, and everybody else talked their way up too, and it was you could tell they were so aggravated with me because I leapfrogged a bunch of people in rows and stuff like that. So it was just a part of the race that, you're on a plane or you're running through customs, so you don't get to see that stuff.
I used to do that once on a plane when I was about to overstay my visa by accident. I just had to, because I had to make my connection out of the country that night. So I was that guy who just barged to the front like the seatbelt sign hadn't even come off. I was like, I'd rather be a prick now than miss my
You
flight
should
and
have
have
just
to
been
deal with that
I'm
way.
about to shit my pants. Please let me off this flight.
Yeah.
Had
So
some
I was
gammy
just-
steak.
I feel that's a situation that nobody wants to be a part of. If someone's I'm gonna shit my pants, I'm please get off the plane.
Hurry.
Gus will be
You're not
happy.
asking for
Please get
excuses.
upwind.
Somebody sent us a word, guys, that has a Q, but
Query?
it doesn't have a U after it. It has a W after it. You know what the word is?
QWERTY?
QWERTY? Yeah.
Quark.
Oh.
It's I spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
He's really happy about his discovery, but Quark is spelled with a U as well.
Wasn't Quark with a W the character on Star Trek? Or the Ferengi on Deep Space Nine?
I never watched Deep Space Nine. I didn't like it. I tried to get into Voyager.
Were they too deep into space?
They were too deep. They were 9 into space. If they were Deep Space 8, I would have been able to handle it. But 9 was just one step too far for
He's
me.
also the
Gavin.
guy that plays
No,
Superman.
He was Quark, spelled
Quark
normally.
Kent.
Q-U-A-R-K.
Go figure, spelled regular.
Yeah. So yeah, I think all of that stuff. Anytime you talk about the Amazing Race, I'm always
Idiot.
really interested. Do you have a Dubai sticker on there now?
I do. I have United Arab Emirates.
What are all of the Emirates? All I can think of is Dubai and Qatar.
United.
What about
One of
Cork?
them's. Yeah, maybe that's the only two I know too.
I will say there was an interesting thing about that is that it's a.
One of them has a funny name. Like it sounds like it's not one, but it is one.
I touched this. I couldn't figure out what it was. It's wet.
Oh, Qatar is not even part of the UAE. I was wrong about that. Abu Dhabi, Dubai. God, I don't know
Abu
how to
Dhabi is what I was
say
thinking.
those.
Abu Dhabi
Sharjah,
was south of us.
Ajman, Fujairah. You okay, Barbara?
What are you giggling about?
I just think of really stupid jokes in my head. and
Say
then
it.
I laugh.
Say it. You spent that much time doing it.
I was gonna say that was my favorite character in Aladdin.
Abu
What's-
Dhabi.
Fuck, racist.
God,
Yeah,
Barbara.
but Barbara, there was a quote.
We never knew the it was
Anything else? Did you see the Fox News reported that the U.S. attacked Agrabah or something? What was that thing?
Oh, yeah.
It was a
It was like I think it was like a poll question.
poll amongst like liberals, not liberals.
No, it was just a poll that was asked
just
to
a poll.
everybody. The way it was reported, it was spun in a very particular way.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but
Oh.
it was just
Did I forward that political message?
a question asked to everybody. Was
To everybody. I
did
don't
they-
remember being asked.
Did they support?
Could have been a booze last
the
name.
United States attacking
Dobby.
We never know.
That's
the
true.
country
Stop
from
sending me
Aladdin.
words with Q in it. God damn it.
Oh, what we got
Somebody
more?
sent me trank. It's short for tranquilizer. And I'm like, that's a fucking word with you.
It also doesn't
They're
start.
they're making shit up now. Just any word with a Q that has a U that doesn't have a U after it. That's all.
Did you see?
And Cordy's not a word either, for fuck's sake.
Qatar.
Did you see that video?
Hubert. Great.
Of the
There you
woman.
go. Found one.
The woman at the Toronto Zoo who jumped the fence to the tiger enclosure to get her hat that fell off her head.
How'd that work out for her?
So apparently there's two fences. There's the big fence, and then in case you jump the big fence, there's another fence. So she jumped the big fence to get her hat, and the tiger just runs straight at the little fence and is just staring at her. Oh, you found it right away.
Holy shit!
And then she jumps back up, but they can't get to her because the little fence is there.
Tiger, you get over that little fence.
So
That's a little fence.
She gets out, and in a minute or so, you see like one of the other guys there. I've never seen a Canadian do this. Just starts yelling at her, calling
Yeah.
her a moron for jumping over the fence. It's like, you just dropped your hat by a tiger. Leave it.
Yeah, that's gone.
You don't need that hat.
There was
That's
no
a former
hat. That's
hat.
like that.
Right.
I mean, I like this toque, but
It's a good toque.
I would not jump over a fence for this.
I think when we first started the podcast, it was a story about a guy whose hat blew off on a roller coaster. So he jumped over a fence to go back under the roller coaster to get it, and the roller coaster came by and knocked his head off.
Yep.
Which is like, well, that's problem solved, right? I mean, he doesn't need a hat anymore. So I just can't believe that somebody would put their life in danger for a hat. It's not the second time we've heard of it.
So were
probably-
the people on that roller coaster like, did a head fly into their lap all of a sudden?
It was Fabio.
The head would have just been turned into dust.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Hit by a roller coaster? Been
Yikes.
paced.
Not
I think it was
fun.
like a hanging roller coaster. So I think it's like somebody,
Somebody's leg.
Kicked
like
it off?
somebody came by, like
Kicked
yeah,
his head
hit a
off.
person, kicked his head
Soccer
off.
player.
Oh,
You ever see that footage of the kid by the train tracks taking a selfie? And the
Oh,
train's
yeah.
going by, and the engineer comes out of the cab and kicks him in the face. Have you seen it?
The engineer's got his leg out to like intentionally hit the guy's head and push him out of the way because he's so close to the train.
did he
Oh,
get
so it's like a safety kick.
Yeah, it's
But also
it's
an idiot
a safety kick.
Dude, there's stuff that sticks off. I think they say the clearance on a train track is something like 8 feet on either side. That's what they give clearance for. And that's the guy.
Oh.
He
Yeah,
does in
that's
slow mo
fuck.
here.
Oh, is it kicked in the head?
Oh fuck!
You might have to
No,
go to
you
the
missed the
explain.
slow mo replay.
I don't think it was on that one.
Oh, it wasn't? It's
we're
great though
already
because
at the end
it's one of those shots where like the foot's here, it's just like that. It's like the fluidity of the human face is amazing.
like Dan
That's
at
like your
soccer
first
ball.
ever slow mo guys video.
Yeah.
When I'm sure you've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There's that scene in it where Tuco jumps off the train. You know, and he's got the guy
It's such a
like
long
handcuffed to
movie.
him.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
they jump off the train. They say that in that scene when they filmed it, that the actor almost got his head taken off by a step that came off of the train.
Yeah.
That I guess it wasn't there in rehearsal, and that just when they went to actually shoot it, there was a little step that comes off.
God,
and if you
trains are
watch
so
the
dangerous.
footage, it barely misses his head as he lifts it up and just goes right by.
The one that always just makes me like cringe was when Buster Keaton did the one where he's on the front of the train and there's a railroad tie laying across the track, so he grabs another railroad tie that's on the train and throws it, hits the end of it, and knocks it up and off the tracks before the train comes by. But when he does it, that railroad tie, which is like a piece of wood like that big around, it comes by and clips his face and breaks his jaw. Like he broke his jaw in the shot.
I didn't realize he
he did
broke
it
his
for
jaw.
real?
yeah.
I believe so. I'll look it up.
I've seen that clip. I
Yeah.
mean, some of the stuff that he did was absolutely ridiculous.
There was that,
the frame of when the house frame falls on him, and he just has to be standing in the right place with the open window
yeah.
so that it doesn't crush him.
Johnny Knoxville messed that up in Jackass 2, I think.
Oh,
He
really?
got crushed by the fascia.
Ugh.
There's a story about the stuntman on Octopussy, the James Bond movie, where he was Bond's double and he was hanging off the side of a train, and they rehearsed it a lot. But then for the actual take, the train went slightly further than it ever had, and there was this like concrete pillar or something that was just like by the train, and he's hanging onto the side of the train, and it hits him. It like shatters both of his legs and his pelvis. But because he's hanging off the side of a high-speed train, he just has to like keep holding on, and all of his lower half is just like knackered. They show the footage of it. It's very far away. It's like from a helicopter or something, but you just see it go like, and he's just swinging like.
I hate the word shattered when it has to do with the human body.
And he was like hospitalized for a long time, but it's a cool stunt in the movie. They didn't show that bit in the movie, but
But trains are crazy because it's like they have so much mass.
Yeah.
Like there's so much power behind it. Even at a low speed.
What's crazy is like I guess it's earphones now. Everyone's walking around with an iPhone or a music player in their pocket. You just see all these things like people like walking across where a train is, like with no idea that the train is nearby. It's like I've been near trains; they rumble. It's like
Also, how loud does your music have to be that you don't hear that?
right.
Someone got hit by a train by the old Butte office like 2 months ago.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, that just south of the office there was that railroad crossing on Main Street. Not the one on the north side, but the one on the south side. I think it was 2 high school students were walking along the train track at night, and they didn't hear it. Probably, I don't know what the exact circumstances were, but one of them got hit and killed by the
it
train.
happens so often, and I'm blown away. Like if you're walking on a train track, you should be able to feel the fact that there's a train hauling ass towards you.
Yeah.
May have been a different stunt in which Buster Keaton broke his jaw. When you look at Buster Keaton broken jaw, you get a lot of hits. Basically, come back. There was
Literally?
one where he
Very good, Barbara.
he broke his neck. Oh, there was a pun that you would have liked when we were headed to the Amazing Race. One of the
I'm all
promo
ears.
images they put out was me with a camel, and somebody wrote to me, "Is that a rented camel or Dubai it?"
Oh,
That's pretty good.
I thought Barbara would love that.
That's a
She
good
was
one.
super. She'd been super happy about
that
that.
fucking bike race that you all had to try this
That
past
was-
week.
that was awesome.
looked brutal.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Something that didn't quite make the
I could
cut.
tell Ashley was not in the right gear.
You could tell why. Because she was pedaling
because her
1,000
feet were
miles
going
an
like
hour.
this,
Yeah.
and she wasn't going fast.
So right before I had this thing where we showed up. We had to race these camels, and all it said in the clue was "Go race 2 racing camels." And so when I thought about that, I thought a race to me in my head is just by default 100 meters. Like that's how far a race is. And I thought, okay, maybe we get a head start and get up to full speed. And I knew the camels were going to be fast. Then we get out to this track. It is a 2-kilometer race. Like we are sprinting on road bikes for 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers.
And the camels are so friggin' fast. They run like morons. They're like all derpy running like this, but they run so fast. And there's this
They
truck
run like
full of Arab dudes on the other side of the track in a pickup going along with them, screaming at the top of their lungs. So the camels are not going to slow down. But when we showed up, we were the first people at the track. Zach and Rachel made a wrong turn. Or more
missed the turn.
accurately, missed a turn. And those exits out in the middle of nowhere in Dubai are really far apart. So I knew they were going to have to go a long way to catch up to us. And so Tyler and Corey and me and Ashley showed up. And I was like, to Ashley, I was like, hey, let's hang back. There's 2 camels already ready to go. I said, let's hang back. Let them brace the camels first. Because I wanted to, scope it out. But I really thought, okay, they're showing off when that's when they do most of the coverage of showing you what the event is. I'm like, those are going to be the fastest camels of the day, or the 2 that they've set out there. They want to show us how fast these camels are. So I was like, let them go. But then they were like, no, you guys all race together. And I was like, oh, fuck. So then we get on the bikes, and they were road bikes that had those curved handlebars that go down. But what I would normally call 10-speed handlebars. And instead of the gear shifts being on top like this, they were down like where the brakes are. They were on the inside of that, where you'd push them left and right, like shifters on a high-end sports
paddle
cars.
shifters.
Yeah, like paddle shifters. And so I showed them to Ashley. I showed her the paddle shifters, and Corey's sitting there watching us do it. And I don't know what happened. There was this thing like where there was like a spare 10 seconds, and Ashley, I guess, turned to Corey and goes, "Where are the shifters again?" He goes, "These bikes don't have them." And that was it. And so then he had the shifters, and she did not. And she pedaled like 1,500 meters in first gear. basically.
Oh
my
my
God,
god.
yeah.
Pedaling at like full speed.
I could tell. I was like, does she not know she could shift gears or anything? Because her feet were going like crazy, and she was moving at like
Good workout there.
The other thing
Yeah.
we knew that there was a head start for this if you didn't defeat the camels the first time. Yeah, you can see the shifters there down below. Like those are the shifters pointing down. So they were in a weird place for
Nice helmet.
shifters.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You look super cool, Burnie.
Thanks, man, with my little gnome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who were watching The Amazing Race for the first time, Gus. They thought they gave us the gnome as a Left 4 Dead joke or a Half-Life
Yeah,
joke.
I saw people talking about that.
Because we had to carry the gnome all the way
Oh,
through
instead
Dubai.
of like a Travelocity thing?
Yeah, you do that. They've done that in The Amazing Race for years and
Yeah.
years. There's one leg. That's why everyone who was in the race was so excited to see the gnome because it's like part of the tradition of the race. And we were like playing with our gnome and having fun.
So is that why it's in Half-Life?
I know. I just think it's a
Episode 2.
coincidence. I think here's why I think it's the mascot for Travelocity and why it was also in Half-Life. One of the first things that ever went viral, and it really viral before the internet was around, was a guy who stole his neighbor's garden gnome,
right.
and he went around the world with it and kept sending the guy Polaroids of his gnome on vacation. And
funny.
it's like, Patrick, you remember that?
He doesn't.
You remember that?
Yeah. No.
It wasn't. I don't think that was Travelocity. That was something else. It was
Yeah.
just like a prank a guy did, and somehow it got reported in newspapers and like, or maybe it was early internet, but
I
it
remember
went
hearing
it
about
went
that.
super viral.
I remember
And-
that, yeah.
And so I think that's how the garden gnome became synonymous with like going on an adventure because like there was this like retiree. I think he was in the UK,
He was in the UK. He took the gnome for 7 months. The
more you know.
around the world.
and he would send the guy postcards or photos with stuff. What are you giggling about over there?
He made it.
So
an
yeah,
ugly
but the
gnome,
camel
too.
race. The hard part about it was how dry it was out
Barbara
there.
got it.
Because it like just sucked all the
Yep.
moisture out of your lungs.
I figured like when Ashley was coughing like that, I was like, she must have just have like dust in her lungs.
There is a behind the scenes video that's on the Amazing Race YouTube channel, which is 5 minutes of Ashley just hacking.
Ugh.
It's her in the back seat as we drive to the other detour. And she's just like, she literally, I couldn't see her because I was driving, but I hear this from the back seat. I'm like, baby, okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I was like, oh no, what's that gonna look like on national television? I'm like, you're sure you're okay? She goes, I'm fine. For like 5 minutes, she was like straight up dry heaving.
I remember she posted a screenshot of herself, and it looked like she was crying.
Oh yeah, it was the whole mess. Yeah, she
of
was just
these.
like she was trying to catch her breath and not throw up, basically, because she was just. And even the guys that beat the camels, they had to lay on the ground for like 10 minutes
Yeah.
afterwards to recover.
Brody and Kurt look fucking destroyed.
They
Yeah.
beat them on the first time, or did they do the second?
They beat him on the first. They're the only people that beat him in the 2-kilometer sprint.
Damn.
I wasn't there for the second heat, but it was a significant head start. It might have been 500 meters, so it was a 3/4 of the distance.
Yeah.
And I beat the first camel, and I was only probably like 30 meters off from the second camel. But I was like, why am I racing so hard? Ashley's behind me, and I had actually given her the advice before we started. Hey, if we're not going to beat the camels, just kind of like lay back. Don't go too hard, and then we'll have fresh legs for the head start leg. And she just couldn't give anything less than 100%. So, and also I was way ahead. I got ahead of her, and I didn't look back and see because I was like just looking at the camel because I was trying to pace him and see how hard it was going to be. And I was like probably 500 or 600 meters in front of her, and I was like, shit, I should have if I had just like laid back with her, I could have probably convinced her to slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
Sherry and Cole did that. When the camels beat them, they slowed way down. They were like, we lost, and then it appeared to be much easier to beat them in the second
Yeah.
heat.
Seems like the strategy to do.
Yeah.
I had the same thought you did about the first ones being faster because it seemed like those were the fucking fastest ones.
They were fucking fast.
Yeah, they want to impress everybody.
All right, let me read this thing here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by
Did you see the animated GIF that somebody put up?
GIF.
You can't
Don't
GIF.
don't just
trying to
slip
get away
in.
with that.
Snuck
It
it
sticks
in.
out like a sore thumb.
We're not going to let it go.
I said GIF for years until I was convinced.
You,
Yeah, but-
be unconvinced.
This is the one asshole thing, when a guy gets a girlfriend and he's like, he just becomes a fucking dickhead and
No.
he's like, goes
like a
along with
vegan?
whatever they do and all that stuff. You never had a guy friend who did that?
No.
Or you never had a girlfriend who she got a new boyfriend and her whole life became the boyfriend?
Well, yeah, but they're stupid when they do that.
No, I'm saying that's it.
You're right.
This is my one thing with Ashley is that she convinced me to say GIF.
Well,
And
I think it's time to break up.
we're done.
Look,
It's
two
over.
wrongs don't make a right.
What does that mean?
You
You're
both-
wrong. She's wrong.
No, she's
So
right.
the fact that you're both wrong together.
The thing that convinced me.
Don't say it.
Okay, we won't even
Don't say it. You're
No,
going to
no, no.
say that the fucking
Burnie.
guy who started it.
Hold on, go ahead.
The guy who said, no. So it's the word scuba. You don't say scuba. you say scuba.
Well, you also say Cuba. What's the point?
Well, it's underwater is what the U stands for. You don't say
Right.
underwater.
But isn't it
Unterwater.
Unterwasser.
isn't it graphical though?
Graphic, yeah. So
So it's
yeah,
griff.
that's part of that's what I'm saying. So scuba
GIF.
is underwater. You don't say scuba. You say scuba.
But that's not a rule necessarily.
But that's the way the people who made it pronounced it.
What about laser?
They pronounced it scuba. Like I'm sure when some people first looked at the word and said that's scuba, say no, it's scuba. You don't say,
Scuba would be 2 B's.
What other word that's GI is pronounced
scuba would be
jit?
2 O's. Scuba.
No, because Cuba doesn't have. It's not Cuba.
Let's have the exact same argument for the word scuba that you do with GIF and GIF. Like I would say scuba, there's a word scooter. That's how you pronounce scoo. Is SCOO.
But what other word is GI that's pronounced J?
What? What I'm saying is, well, that's the
Gerald.
argument. What I'm saying, Barbara, is that people say GIF,
Giraffe. Is
giraffe.
Yeah.
People say GIF is part of gift, and you say gift. You don't say, I'm going to give you a birthday gift. But my argument is like, there's a word scooter. That's how scooter is pronounced. Scoo, and you pronounce
What's
scuba.
Scoo got to do with it?
The word scuba. It's how you fucking pronounce. All right, I'm done. Good call, Gus. Not getting involved with this shit.
So where
I'm like arguing two sides of the arguments with these two fucking idiots on the
where
couch
does
over
the
here.
J come from though?
That's how the guy pronounces it. That's how
Who's the guy?
The guy that made it. The guy that invented it, named it.
He made
Where's he
moving
from?
images.
What country?
He made the animated GIF.
Yeah,
What,
I
kind-
get what you did there.
what nationality is he?
I don't know. He's an idiot. I agree with you. It's
Moron?
like I pronounced it as GIF forever, and I was like, every time people brought up that guy, I'm like, who gives a fuck about that guy? He doesn't know what he's talking about.
See, you were so right.
I'm gonna pronounce it Geif from now on.
Guy.
Guys.
I'm gonna say jive.
I'm gonna pick one of the runners up right now for our earlier trivia question.
Oh, pizza.
So this person will get the $25
Is it me?
Buns.
Pizza Hut gift card.
Is it me?
Or the Pizza Hut gift card. It's gonna go to
Fucking solid callback.
James Mason at prodigy_James. James, congratulations! You win a $25 gift card.
How far in the past does something have to happen to be a callback?
That buffalo wing I had was really good.
Instant. It could be instant and be a callback.
Fair play.
Because it's time. Everything in the past is in the past.
I did something this weekend that I regret because it was so lame.
Wait. Guess what did Gavin do?
He.
Wait, let's ask You get 2 qualifying questions you can ask. Gavin.
Okay.
Were you with Meg? That's my first one.
Nope.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
Hey,
Was it?
Christ alive.
Was it?
Jesus.
time for pizza.
Was it at your house?
Yeah.
Inside at your house, not with Meg, or you masturbating?
No.
Okay.
He wouldn't tell that.
Were you barefoot?
No, I was wearing socks.
Does it have to do with your cat?
I have an idea.
Nah.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
You'll never get it. Why are we doing this?
You were painting.
What?
No, I wasn't.
Were you playing?
You had a
video-
weird look on your face.
Did it have to do with the
though.
rain?
Were you playing video games?
It was been raining all weekend.
So what I did? No, you're never gonna get it. So
But
basically,
we had fun.
you had a lot of fun. Basically, I don't use emoji very much. So when I what?
This is already great.
When I do, I feel like a bit of an idiot. Like because sometimes people reply to me with an emoji, and I'm like, man, how did you know about that emoji? And I'm always like, just scrolling through. I don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
And I just pick like the first one. It's probably not the best one to pick. So I sat down and I tried to learn emoji.
What? You went through the whole like emoji
I just was
keyboard?
scrolling through each page. I was trying to memorize like what there is in there and like where it is.
Trying to
and-
learn emoji?
Yeah, I was trying to be like good with emoji.
Do you think Rosetta Stone's gonna have like an emoji course you can take?
See, Barb, earlier when I was talking about a guy starts dating a girl and turns into an asshole, this is exactly.
Gavin never had
You're
that
not
turning
sending me
point.
emojis.
He was always that.
You're not sending them to Dan. Who are you sending emojis to? Just Meg.
Mainly, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you only need to
The
know.
first
you only
emoji I
need
ever
to
used
know-
was the Ashley in text.
You only need to know 4 emojis if you have a girlfriend.
Pile of poo.
The heart emoji,
The tongue.
the kissy face emoji, and then this emoji and this emoji.
No, there's the tongue emoji and then the water droplet.
Can that be
emoji,
the
too.
thumbnail? Just pull them apart. That's the thumbnail right there.
Time for
Thanks.
pizza.
The
Oh, also, before we get too far away from this, Burnie, Anna Hullum texted me.
yeah.
And she said, the U in scuba is also a vowel. They follow different grammatical rules. Also, I love Ashley.
Get shit on.
No,
son.
she's wrong.
You got
wrong.
Hullumed.
No, you got Hulumed.
Anna Hullum.
Hulumed.
There's no instance of a U being pronounced as a oo.
What if it's
in
after a
another
Q?
language.
Glue.
Q. It's a U. It's not a oo.
A Q.
A quote. Can't even do it. You can't even do it. Anyway, it's garbage. It's GIF. Listen. GIF is proper. Listen. This goes back to the other thing we were talking about, which is the changing of the spelling of the word "whoa" over time. And people will constantly, when there's an article about how "whoa" has changed spelling, they'll send it to me. And a guy wrote to me on Twitter the other day and said, "Hey, I was listening to the podcast, and I never knew there was a different way to spell "whoa," and he spelled it WOAH. And I want to write him back and go, "There's not a different way. That's the right way. It's just like it's not. There's two ways, and like some people do it one way and some people do it the other. There is literally one correct way to spell the word "whoa."
What do you think he said when he had that revelation?
Whoa. Whoa. I think it's fascinating, and that one doesn't bug me. I'm actually fascinated by the fact that we're watching language change
But
on the fly.
that's happened all throughout language.
No, but this is an instance where it's happened so fast.
Oh.
And a lot of people who don't even know that there was a proper way to spell "whoa" 3 or 4 years ago. It's crazy to me.
They changed the name of a country this week, apparently.
Oh, they changed the Czech Republic too?
Oh, is it like Czechoslovakia?
Okay.
What
Does
is
anyone
it?
know how it's pronounced? Because I read it, and we had a discussion at
yourself
dinner last
before you wreck
night
yourself?
how to pronounce this word. How do you pronounce it?
The way it was written, it looked like
Czechia.
Czechia.
I say Czechia too, but that sounds like Chechnya.
It does sound like Chechnya.
You think it's
United States sounds
somebody
like
Was
said
United Kingdom.
it Czechia?
Czechia. Somebody said that. Not Czechia, but Czechia.
Czechia.
Czechia. And then somebody else
I want a
Czechia.
Chia-
Somebody else
Czechia
recommended
flag.
Czechia. Yeah. So does anyone know how to pronounce it?
I'm going to say
Czechia.
Czechia.
Chia.
I'd say Czechia too.
Czechia.
Jeff.
Also.
Czechia.
Chua.
Czechia. Czechia.
Whoa.
Why did they change their name?
I don't know. Czech Republic was fine by me. Maybe they're not a republic.
The Republic of Czechia.
Chia.
Did
Are
you
they
see-
the Republic of Czechia?
I know.
Because that would be a big pain in the ass. That's just like switching shit around for no reason.
No reason.
So when is that official now? Like, does Google Maps say Czechia?
Is that when it's official?
Well, I mean, that's the most up-to-date atlas, isn't it?
But Google Maps is not always entirely accurate. Did you know that depending on the country you're in, Google Maps will draw country borders differently if it's in a disputed area?
No.
Google's a pain.
That's cool.
Yeah, so like if you're
They're always knuckling
When-
under to people on that kind of stuff.
when Russia was invading the Crimea Peninsula, if you were in Russia and looked it up, it would show Crimea Peninsula was part of Russia. But if you were in the Ukraine, it showed it as part of the Ukraine.
The big one like that is a place that you guys just went to, Taiwan. Depending on who you ask, Taiwan is part of China.
I remember in the early days of Xbox Live, there was a problem that a very small group of users had. I believe there's a disputed island that's disputed between South Korea and Japan. And the people who were living there were trying to enter their address as being Japanese, but Xbox Live only recognized that island as being South Korean. So they could not sign up for service on Xbox Live. So, but the Google Maps is the same way. If you're in Japan, it shows it's part of Japan. If you're in South Korea, it shows it's part of South Korea.
Tibet's like that too, right? Like
Yes.
Like only half the world recognizes Tibet as an independent nation. Is the U.S. one of them?
I do not believe the U.S. recognizes
Really?
Yeah,
Tibet?
Tibet, no.
Sean Penn does. So
I think in order to maintain relationship with China, but we still maintain a different set of relationships. It's all complicated. It reminds me of one of my favorite videos that I ever saw on YouTube. I don't know if you ever saw it, where the guy goes into detail explaining what enclaves and exclaves are, and countries within countries, and countries that exist, like the way that borders work, and how typically a border is a very straightforward idea. But then you encounter situations like countries within countries, or even countries within that make the whole thing very complicated, and trying to figure out who owns what.
What's an example of that?
Vatican City is a common example. I believe Lesotho as well. There's parts of Belgium and the Netherlands where the borders just constantly crisscross each other.
Oh, really?
And there's pictures if you look it up online, you'll see like pictures of a cafe with a dot like tile that goes down the sidewalk, and on one side it's just like Belgium, one side. It's just
my favorite
Netherlands.
part of that is that one of your favorite videos on YouTube is one of the most boring fucking videos on YouTube. Is what it sounds like.
This one guy had a house that was right on the border. I believe it was Belgium and Netherlands, and
I think you told me this.
yeah,
once.
he identified as one country's citizen, but the other country was taxing him because his front door of his house was on that side of the country.
Good.
So he Yeah,
Fuck that guy.
And
He's,
the
he's a
flag.
troublemaker.
So he had to
build your
wa-
house somewhere else.
He had to,
That guy's
there it is. He had to wall up the door and move it in order to be recognized.
That
as,
guy is like such a star for attention. Fuck that guy.
See,
Wait,
and you can
like-
see the flags on each side showing
Oh my God.
different addresses and different parts.
That is class. There's a really
Look
cool
at that. Look at how much effort that guy's. That's like his thing.
That's not the guy. That's the public street. That's a sidewalk.
Bullshit. He's so excited about it. If I was fucking Belgium, I'd declare war, just kicking that guy's door, drag
There's
him away,
that
and
bit
then declare peace.
of I think
Fuck
it's
that guy.
I think it's Russia where there's a bit of Russia that like sticks way down into another country, and instead of making people in the other country drive around this piece of Russia, there's one road that you can take that just goes straight through Russia, but you're not allowed to stop.
Really?
Yeah, and there's like a guard tower, and as long
So
as
it's
you
like a super expressway.
as long as you get on the road and just floor it and go all the way through, you don't have to show a passport or anything. But technically, you were on the land of Russia for that little drive. I
Ga-
don't remember the countries involved, but
Gavin and I are planning a bit of an excursion, and we found out something really bizarre, is that you can't go to India if you've been to China within the last 3 months. Is that right? Something like that?
something like that. I
Why
mean,
is
there,
that?
there are some countries where
They're
you
neighboring countries. It's like, I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, it's the same with Israel and like Turkey and.
Sure, or a Muslim country.
yeah, there are
basically,
some
right?
countries where if you have a stamp from a different country in your passport, they just won't let you in.
What does I wonder what Israel looks like on maps made in the Arab world. I wonder what that looks like.
I mean, it's already pretty small.
Yeah, it's just like, is it just like all of it Palestine? That's it?
I don't know.
It'd be interesting. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see because maps are political.
I can't believe you said one of my favorite videos is boring.
It sounds awful.
That's
that
not
sounds
a
already
video.
in a bad
That's like
mood.
a cool like moment on the land. That's like that place is messed up. There's
well-
some funny rules involving that place.
Listen, I can make fun of you for being boring because I told Gavin this before the podcast, but I had a 2-hour dream last night. It felt like one of those super long dreams. Felt like it was 2 hours long. The entirety of the dream, Gus, was me trying to set up a dash cam in my car.
Oh God, that
That
sounds
was-
so boring.
That was it. And I woke up from that. I was like, I was mad at myself for this dream. Like, why am I wasting my dreaming time setting up a fucking dash cam and not doing it well and getting mad at it and like trying to figure it out and troubleshooting?
I hate when you have dreams
Not
that are
even
just stress.
getting it on the first time, you had to troubleshoot it.
Yeah, it's a 2 hours, Barb. It was forever. And I woke up mad and like thinking about this stupid dash cam. I'm like, what the fuck am I wasting my time with?
could've
Other
been
people have dreams about like
unicorn-
foursomes and I'm dreaming about a dash cam.
So like, what kind of issues were you coming up against?
Like USB stuff. Then
really?
there was something about current. Like, there was, you know how your brain just makes shit up, but it makes sense to your brain?
Well, like I was saying the other week, like how my brain made up this dumb piece of the lens that I broke and I couldn't fit it back in.
Right.
But my brain invented the problem. It's like so annoying and weird. It's like, get out of here.
Just a
Put
bucket-
in a naked woman.
Exactly right. Why are you getting in
Yeah,
the way here?
why didn't a naked woman fall out of the lens?
Maybe
have-
that's just telling. Your brain puts in problems.
I don't know. I have to live a more deviant lifestyle. That's all it is. If I'm dreaming about setting up a fucking dash cam, what the fuck?
And were you like, do you want to do this in real life? Is
And
that,
it wasn't even my car. It was like my car from college, you know, an old rundown Audi with no
I
air
never
conditioning.
have
wouldn't it be
exciting
cool if it
dreams.
worked though? And you
Doesn't
could
it
act-
suck?
My dreams are never exciting.
It sucks.
Yeah, they're always about real life. Like recently, my car got ran into while it was parked, so like my bumper's all fucked up.
Uh-huh.
I had a dream that I was driving with my fucked up bumper, and someone hit me on the other side of the bumper. And then I was to my insurance. I was like, I got hit, and they're like, well, how do you have a hit on one side of your bumper and the other if you got hit by this side? And I was like, well, I was gonna tell you guys about this side, and then this side happened after that. And
That's
I was
like
like,
a
this is what I'm
real
dreaming about.
stress
Yeah.
dream.
And your brain sets up a dream, like an argument in your dream that you lose. It's like, why is my brain like
I had to
let
like
me at least win the shitty argument? Like,
I
you know,
had to
let me set
defend
up.
myself to an insurance company in my fucking dream.
Have you ever had
You were an insurance company.
Yeah, you were.
In your dream. You were an insurance
You were
company
role-playing
fighting to
against
screw yourself over. You spent mental
Yeah, it was
energy
all
doing
her.
that.
Have you ever kept the same companion throughout the whole dream? Like people I'm with
No,
in a
people
dream,
switch out.
They just become different people, and I'm like,
Do you ever switch like two other people in your dream? Like it's from your first person perspective, but then it's not. No, dude, I have
I'm always
that.
me.
It's weird.
so you're looking at you sometimes?
Yeah, or it's
Have
like
you ever banged yourself?
it's a no. I've never banged myself. No, I took a tech support from myself setting up a dash cam. That was the most exciting.
Have you
thing that
tried checking
happened.
the current?
You never had that? Where
No,
it's
I've had
like,
dreams that are like movies where like the framing changes, but I'm not. I feel like I'm just watching a movie in the dream. It's not like I'm in control of anything.
It is hard to explain too, because like when you literally try to remember your dream, like the moment you wake up, there's a shitload of it that just doesn't make sense, but your brain is like, this is fine. It's good enough. Got enough information here.
Yeah.
So like stuff in your brain in your dream you try to explain later, it's like doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But your brain just made sense by accepting it. It's really bizarre.
Do you find that if you try and remember a dream, like you've just woken up, you're trying to remember the dream, the process of you trying to remember stuff like overwrites the truth of the dream, and then you lose it forever.
What are most of your nightmares about?
I don't have a lot of nightmares. Used to be, honestly, I was so scared of Dawn of the Dead when I was a kid. But like growing up, most of my dreams were about the zombie apocalypse, which is weird because now it's like a big thing now. I'm playing this horrible game, Dying Light. Have you played that?
I never played it, no.
So the weird thing about that game, and I think it changes as you get higher up in levels, is that when you're running through the city, which is filled with zombies, and you got to kill a zombie, Gavin can back me up. He's played this game. In most zombie games, Gus, you run up and you smack it with a bat or you shoot it in the head and that's it and you move on.
Correct.
Dude, that's not... You go to kill a zombie in this, it takes you about a minute and a half. Like
It's just like a knockdown, drag-out fight.
You beat it to the ground and you're like literally hitting it on the ground in the head like 5 or 6 times. And you gotta wait for your stamina to recharge and you're like wailing on it. And then finally it dies.
That stamina is bullcrap.
I
It's all adrenaline at that point. If you were caving in someone's head, you wouldn't need stamina.
Totally agree.
Do you see the girl who had her wisdom teeth taken out and she was put under the anesthetic? And when she came to, her brothers had created this elaborate plan where she was like in the zombie apocalypse.
Yep.
It was such
And they
a
even
good
had like
idea.
a radio
So
announcement
cool.
come out, and like their mom was in on it.
About my favorite part is when she's in the car and they're like, "We got to get the gardening tools," and he's like, "Why are you getting gardening tools? We have guns. Get the guns."
My
People are
favorite part
commenting.
is when they were like, "Do you want to take the dog or the cat? We could only take one." And she goes, "Are you stupid? The cat!"
And then the next shot is her in the front seat with the cat,
With the cat.
in her lap. And people were commenting that like she, under the influence of heavy narcotics, she was still making better decisions than most people in a zombie apocalypse
Yeah.
movie make. Like
Yeah.
she was immediately on point.
I feel like decision
get
making.
guns, get the cat, let's
Yeah.
go.
Get
I
the
guess,
cat.
I guess there's not as much hesitation in decision making. You just like switch to gut reactions.
She was on Ellen, and they asked her why she made a decision. They asked her if she wanted to take chocolate cake or funfetti cake, and she said funfetti like instantly. And Ellen was like, "Why did you choose funfetti over chocolate?" And she's like, "Well, you know, it's colorful, so I thought like it'd be sad during the zombie apocalypse to have like chocolate cake, and also you don't have ice cream, so you don't want to eat chocolate cake without ice cream." And it's like, how is that all going through her head like in an instant?
She's got that on lock. She's prepared.
Yep.
Can you imagine you're in the zombie apocalypse and somebody is actually grabbing funfetti to take with them?
Yeah.
Dude,
I
you
would-
need it.
he's like, drop it. Drop the cat. Drop the funfetti. Just get the fucking guns and let's go.
Well, that's what she was like. When the guy was getting gardening tools, she was like, "Are you fucking stupid?"
They had like one of those trash picker upper things.
Yeah. She's like, "What do we do with this thing?"
I want to pick one of the other runners up here for
yeah.
our the feed. So the winner, one of the winners of the $25 gift card is Crystal Montgomery at RoswellGal91
Yeah.
on Twitter. You correctly guessed the answer, so we'll
So-
be sending you a $25 gift card.
Roswell reminds me of something. But what are you leading up to here? So you've done 2 runners.
Two runner up, and then the next one will be the grand prize, which is the $25 gift card and all of the swag that you see Barbara messing with, and that was on the mannequin.
What about
Sorry,
what
I
about the people who are getting the knock on the door and getting pizza?
Oh, then they're getting pizza.
I want to see.
They
some
should send
photos.
us,
I wanna
uh,
see- I wanna see
photos.
some
live
photos from that.
webcams.
Send us some photos of that.
It's like Noel's house party.
So I have a question because Roswell. I was playing
Okay.
Alien Isolation recently, and there was something that came to mind.
Is that game good?
No, I wouldn't play it. I'll tell you what. It is. We were talking about Alien sequels on something. Was it on the post show? We were talking about the sequels to Alien, and I
Yes, it was last week's post show, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. And we have a post show that we do an extra like 20 minutes of the podcast. That's only on the website. That's sponsors, right? Let's see that.
That was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Whatever. It was recently we were talking about it. And I was going to bring this up then, but I forgot to. Alien Isolation is actually one of the best sequels to the original Alien. Like I would say it's in the same vein as Alien and just a little bit under Aliens, but still better than 3 and still better than 4. Alien Isolation is a great sequel to the original Alien.
But a bad game.
I love
It's
the
a stealth game, which drives me crazy after a while.
I love the
it's stealthy.
aesthetic and the
Yes.
feel in that game. I feel like they really nailed
They
the
nailed it.
atmosphere correct.
They
everything,
absolutely-
everything's just so on point.
So here's what I'm wondering about. Yeah, look at that. It's like I love how they like went back to that like old school like 70s sci-fi.
Even like the way you save those phones with
Yep.
yeah, I mean everything.
There was a time
all
in
the
movies,
technology is like displays from 70s and
That's
stuff.
actually really cool. There was a time in
It's
movies
really-
where, when characters were sat in front of a monitor, they would project what was on the screen onto their
the face,
faces.
yeah.
But it's like, They surely knew that that's not what happened. Like, why would they do that?
Well, it's the
There
same
was
thing
a
as
ton
when
of
they
movies
shoot
just
outside.
Just to make it look cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't look cool. It's distracting as hell.
What is the first thing they do when they shoot outdoors at night in a city? What's the first thing they do?
Put a light on?
They wet all the streets down. They always do that. So those
that
streets
for
just
laser
look,
team?
they just look cooler because the lights
reflect,
street lights
yeah.
reflect and everything like that. But that's not how streets look normally. That's
Well, it is in the rain, though.
it is in the
Yeah,
rain, but it's not raining in
raining.
every fucking scene. You know,
The streets aren't constantly wet at night.
I can
They are
turn
in
up.
England.
I can turn up my TV, especially one from the '70s. I can turn it up high enough to where you can see something on my face.
It
Probably,
would just be light. It would just be one big color.
maybe. You don't know. I had a really cool TV.
I do know.
If I had a projection TV. But I was wondering about this about Alien. So when they find the alien, do the people in the aliens universe, in that fictional universe, is that the first alien they've seen, or is it have they run into aliens before and this is just a bad one?
I think it seems like it's the first one.
The first ever life form
Right.
they've ever found, right?
Right.
But then they find two at once because they find the space jockey, and there's not like a moment I don't recall from Alien of like, this is a fucking alien.
Oh,
This
that's
is
true. Yeah.
It's a good point.
Like that would be monumental in human history, and there's just like,
What is the
there's
plot?
not that. It's like, oh, here's a bunch of eggs. How neat.
And that's
Let's
just
look
a
at
cargo ship. It's like a mining ship that they've got there, isn't it?
one. Was it the
Nostromo?
Nostromo? Yeah. I met. Did I tell the weird story about when I met the guy who designed that?
No.
No.
He was a guy. We were down in Australia, and it was one of these like cocktail hours, and there was this guy who just like an older nerdy dude, you know, long white beard. He looked like George R.R. Martin a little bit. And I was talking to him about web stuff, and he goes, hey, I've been fascinated by this internet stuff. And I was talking with him, and I kind of put my foot in my mouth, embarrassed myself, where he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get into the web stuff. I'm not sure where to get started. I'm like, well, if you like put your work online, like people can see it and all this stuff. I'm like, and he goes, well, I have a website. I put some stuff up. And then it turned out this guy had designed like every major piece of sci-fi art that I had grown up watching. Like
he was
he
your hero,
designed
basically.
the Nostromo. He designed the DeLorean from Back to
Wow.
the Future. He designed the cars in Blade Runner. He was part of
Really
that.
cool.
I mean, I can't even give this guy's whole thing. And I think I've talked about this guy on the podcast before, and people immediately come back
What's
with
his
his name. And I don't know his name. I can't remember his name now. But he was an older dude. And this is like 8 years ago. But it was like, at first I was like talking to him like, I just like some dude, and I was like telling him how to get involved with the web. What? Sid Mead. So I don't think it's Sid Mead. I don't think that's his name. I could be wrong. It is a simple name like that, though, like 2 syllables, and that's it. Maybe that, I'll look him up. M-E-A-D?
Tim Limp.
Timp.
No, that's not him. At least I don't think that's him.
Bill Chair.
Well, that's
I wanna
an
say it's like Abe or something like that.
that's an impressive
Abe
resume.
Lincoln.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. I know we've talked about him on the podcast before. I think I pronounced his name as Jiff, though. Hold on one second.
Have you seen that dumb list of all the coincidences between Lincoln and Kennedy?
Oh yeah. And
No.
Like, is that actual coincidences, or are there people just looking for patterns there?
They're probably looking for it. Is it the one that ends in the fucking stupid joke?
No. What was the joke?
Whatever. I'm not even gonna. It's like such an old dumb joke. I'm not even gonna get into it.
There are a lot of coincidences there.
If you look for coincidences, you can find patterns, and you can find those coincidences. Here, I want to do another read right here.
Ron Cobb.
Ron Cobb.
Got it.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by
Why is our Wi-Fi shit?
I don't know.
For a tech company.
They're working on it. I complain to the Adams all the time about it, and they always say that they're trying to fix it. But what's frustrating is that it's bad right here.
In this exact spot.
Like this spot is probably this spot and the break room are the 2 worst spots for Wi-Fi.
the next set should have a Wi-Fi hotspot built into it.
Yeah, I've got to do something. Something like that. Did you hear that story? I don't know what Barbara's doing. Did you hear that
Just making our
story
faces
about
funny.
the there's that woman in Texas, I think it was in Odessa, who they're looking for her because she broke into a funeral home and then she stole a ring off of a corpse
Yeah,
in
so
a
that's
coffin.
fucked up.
What the hell?
That's fucked up.
Was she going for that ring, or she was just robbing?
No, she probably just robbing. She walked in, she saw an unattended corpse in a casket, and then pulled a ring off of the dead
Is
person's
that
finger.
something people do?
It's
They
like one of the
grave
worst
rob
things you could
Yeah.
do.
That's what she did.
for jewelry and
And
things
the
like
fucked
that?
up thing was, it was apparently a plastic ring that's only worth $10.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
If I had a real ring, I wouldn't want to be buried in it. I'd be like, fucking sell that. Get money for it.
Yeah, that's absolutely
do you
awful.
care?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're saying like,
I'm saying, like, good. I'm glad it wasn't a real ring. And the people who want to be buried with their real rings, it's like, why?
This is their ring.
Once I'm
They're
dead, I don't,
dead.
yeah, but I don't care. What do I want someone else to take it? fuck them.
Did
Right?
you
I mean,
did you read about the
rather
Apple
sell it myself.
iPhones? That Apple from broken iPhones extracted, I want to say it was 2,000 pounds of gold from broken iPhones last year.
What does that mean?
That's an enormous amount of money. is
when they
what
do
that means.
recycling, like whenever
much?
they take in broken iPhones and recycle
Yeah.
the individual components, they took in over a ton of gold. It was valued, I think, over $68 million.
So
Yeah.
there's just gold in iPhones?
There's a little bit of gold.
Circuitry, yeah. What is the component that uses gold? Do you have any idea?
It's the connectors, I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because gold doesn't corrode. So
Nuts, right?
And I
Yeah.
think someone I forget what it was, but there's a there's a subreddit called They Did the Math, where you can go and they'll break it down, and someone extrapolated how much dollars of gold per iPhone that was, and it was like $8 or something.
How many iPhones is it?
Right, that was in there. That was part of the release.
So
And
It must
they
have been
did
a
it.
68
phenomenal
million.
amount of iPhones they took in.
If it was 68 million bucks worth of gold, it would have been like hundreds of millions worth of iPhones.
I'm going to They Did the Math right now.
Did you read that the price of lithium recently doubled?
Did?
Doubled. That's
Is that why those
crazy.
batteries
That's
are so damn
bad
expensive?
for
That's
Tesla.
Bad for a lot of people. Bad for a lot of people. And
Apparently
Tesla
we
is
have
definitely
a-
one of them.
We have the Pizza Hut watch party, apparently.
Yeah, we do?
Yeah,
Do you have a photo?
I think they do.
Oh, look at
Hey!
We should
the,
have.
the Dallas group.
We should have found a way to Skype in live to them.
So the DFW Rooster Teeth group got pizza. Look at that, you lucky guys.
And girls.
You're welcome.
People. I was going to say something else, but I wouldn't keep it friendly.
I have a question about your laptop.
Yeah.
Do you pre-buy those stickers?
What does what does that mean?
Well, you know all the countries you've been to. Do you have those flags?
I get what
already?
he's saying. Like, you know where you've been to on Amazing Race.
Right.
Or are you going out like week by week and buying those?
I just, as you can tell, many of them are from a set. But I purchased these different ones. It actually started with my trip to Ireland. That was not
You
part-
answered that question so suspiciously and weird.
Well, I
It's a
mean, you said,
simple
do I
question.
pre-buy them? Did I? It makes it sound like I bought them before I went to the countries, and I didn't know where I was going.
No. Why would I mean that?
That's what I'm saying. What does pre-buy them mean? Of course, do I buy them before I stick them on my laptop? Yes, I buy
No,
them
I said, like-
before I put them on my goddamn laptop. Pre what? Pre what?
It's either that or you're just buying one every week.
I bought a bunch of flags. No, I didn't sit down and go, well, I don't want it to spoil the results of the Amazing Race to Amazon, so I only bought a few. I bought a bunch of flags. I even bought flags for places that I didn't go
Ooh, sneaky.
because I'm planning to go there.
So
Other places.
they recovered
So
point
aggressive.
Pre-buy. We always say something dumb and then act like I'm an idiot because I didn't understand
You
it.
thought I meant before the race.
You just said pre-buy. What
Pre
does
doesn't mean when the dinosaur, when you were born.
What
you bought
does
them.
pre-buy mean?
You got to be smart about what pre means.
Why can't you just say, did you buy the flags every week or did you buy them all at once? Why didn't you ask that question?
Yeah.
What's this pre-buying? What does that mean? No, I didn't pre-buy them.
Did you put in your pre-order for flags? You get the bonus DLC
I
for
did.
enclaves and exclaves.
I did buy one pack that has every flag in the world in it.
Ah, there you go. So they recover 0.034 grams of gold per iPhone, which is $1.82 per phone, which works out to 21.4 million iPhones.
In a year,
Wow.
that's a story by itself.
That's a lot.
That they
That's a lot of broken
reclaimed
iPhones.
20 million iPhones.
Are people upgrading or like turning in old ones?
Like smashing the lens or the whatever the glass. Which, by the way, the new iPhone's supposed to be glass on two fronts now.
Nah, 2017.
Wasn't the 5 like that?
Wasn't people are making a big deal about it? But the 5 was glass on
5
the
was
front and the
glass.
back.
No, the
right?
4 was.
4, yeah.
Wasn't the 5 also?
Was it?
One of them was. Who cares, right?
There was a
Previously-
phone that
The
had glass on
4S
the back.
and the 4 were
No, the
definitely
5 was
glass.
like a metal on the back.
We're really on like the 10th iPhone at this point, right? The 9th.
I was remembering what it was like to tap the back of that phone.
Why are you tapping the back of the phone? That's our thumbnail for Barbara, right there.
Because when
We
you
get
like
it.
tap the back, you like remember the sound it made, and the 5 was definitely a metal.
Never tap the back of the phone. Never happened for me. Ever.
So you
Never-
were in that. Speaking of iPhones, the connected dock finally came out,
Yeah, it did.
which I thought it turned out really good.
I did too.
It's
yeah,
about 45 minutes long.
it was.
Well.
The response from it was amazing. Like Blaine and I got so many tweets of people being like, "That had a really like intense impact on me."
I think that when the people saw the trailer, people were kind of ready to be insulted that they thought it was going to be
They
a
thought it was
doc.
just going to be us making fun of millennials.
And I get it because the word millennial was in the trailer.
Millennials are so insulted by millennial.
Yeah, they don't like that label.
yeah.
They don't like that
Nobody
label.
likes
It's all-
But I
all
don't think we
millennials
said the
are
word
piece of shit.
millennial in
Looks like
the
Oh,
entire
millennial.
documentary. Doesn't
No,
it?
I think it was just written on screen at one point.
Yeah, that's it, right? I think
Yeah,
so.
like as a way to like summarize what the documentary is
That
about.
documentary series, we are really enjoying the hell out of that. We're doing some fun ones. I wonder when we could talk about the next one that we're doing.
Did you ever watch Connected? Did you ever?
Yeah.
I did something in
I watched
Connected.
like 5 times before it came out for approvals and stuff.
I did something to you guys that I guess didn't really work out.
Yeah.
So they couldn't use it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened that just didn't make the cut of the. Because I mean, it's only a 45-minute documentary, but we filmed for 5 days, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that didn't make it.
I made a playlist of the top 100 songs from the year you were born and the top 100 songs Blaine was born. And I would call their answering machines from the office phone, and I would put the phone by my computer speakers and play the top 100 songs for them and just fill up the answering machine and not tell them who it was.
Oh, wow.
Why didn't it work?
The audio quality was so bad. She didn't understand what she was hearing.
This is what the song on my answering machine sounded like.
Love that song.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it went on for 4.5 minutes. And I listened to the whole thing because I wanted to see if someone said anything at the end. And then it ended. And then another answering machine message started playing. And it was the song again. And I was like, okay, maybe at the end of this, they'll say something. And sure enough, it was just
You
the
didn't have
song.
anything else to do. You're bored. That one shot of you where you're laying in bed, like looking left and right. It's
Yeah.
just like,
That
I was hoping to be like their music source.
you're going to be like the radio.
Yeah, but it didn't. It just didn't
One
work.
message-
out.
They still
songs
have
from
radio
those.
stations, FYI.
One message you left me that I'm really disappointed didn't make it into the documentary was it was the first night. And like Blaine and I didn't have any form of communication with people. We had a beeper where we could receive messages on, and we had a landline, and that was it. And Gus
Blaine
left.
has cheeseburger phone.
He had a cheeseburger phone. I had that little see-through one. And Gus left me a message that said, "Hey, Barbara, I just want to let you know that you did a really bad job today, and you smell, and nobody likes you. But, you know, if you think any of this is wrong or you disagree with me, just send me an email or a text. All right, bye." And I was like, you piece of shit. I really wish that made it into the doc.
It was fun trying to screw with you guys. When you also when they were handing out the flyers at campus,
Yeah.
they had the Twitter and the Facebook links. These two weren't very proficient with the typewriter, but I was. So I made a stack of flyers for them to
We got
hand
Gus
out.
to help us.
And every now and then I would sneak Blaine's phone number into there, and it'd be like, "Call me, winky face."
He actually used one of those. Did I tell you that?
No.
We were in I think it was a Jamba Juice right after we had finished up, and he still had the stack of flyers, including the phone number. And he saw a cute girl there. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to give this to her." And later he regretted it because he's like, "I should have just talked to her instead of being all creepy, handing her my phone number."
It was fun to use the typewriter. I can't remember the last time I used a
I
typewriter.
got an idea I want to run by you guys in the post show.
In the
Alright.
I
post
got
show.
an idea for a thing.
I can't imagine being forced to use it again for like work and trying
A
to
typewriter?
Get, yeah.
I just felt bad for Chelsea, who shares an office with me, because that thing was loud.
Clackety clack.
Yeah.
Well, the keyboards are loud these days. We're coming full circle.
There's some people who
Gus's
get those
keyboard
mechanical
is-
keyboards.
But it's
yeah,
not just
he's
like
got
the
a clackety clack.
it's not just the keys;
my
it's the
keyboard.
sound of the thing moving across the paper.
Did
too.
you hear the thing that I wanted to design for you in particular?
Yeah, for Twitter, right?
Yeah, early on in the doc. I think I talked about it last podcast, the one you weren't on, but I wanted to. The only way people get real time information back in the 80s was those ticker tapes. Like that was before the internet. The best people had like a 15-minute delay on the stock market.
Right.
But like the ticker tape. So I want to get a ticker tape thing that would constantly print out her Twitter feed. I thought that would have been great.
I just know
That'd be
one of
really
Sit
you
there
would
like
have been
reading it like this.
Sounds really expensive.
one of you
Yeah.
would have said like, "Hey, tweet Barbara something with 140 characters."
Somebody made one. There were people were sending me links after we mentioned on the podcast last week, and they were sending me links to a guy who had made one. But I think it was like $8,000, or
Worth it.
like his wasn't even for sale. Wouldn't even do it. It was like a Ben Heckendorf.
Well, think about how much money you would save firing Caleb and getting me one of those machines.
because Caleb reads the Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Is that what he does?
Also, think of all the internet savings you would have.
Just kidding.
Not
We
having to
didn't-
load Twitter constantly, just have a feed.
Barbara and Andrew made me run the Snapchat last week
Yeah, we did.
while we were doing the steak off, and I showed my methodology for preparing it. Sure enough, somebody asked on Reddit. They asked, "Hey, where's the video of Burnie making his steaks?" And I want to see the method. And people are like, "Well, it's on Snapchat, so it's gone." It's like that's so fucking dumb to me. It's like bad. But I have to say, I had a great time doing that.
People really liked it.
There is something to be said for it's 30 seconds, and it's like you don't try to even make it good. You just everything's a throwaway on Snapchat. It's just like record. All right, that's it. That'll be gone in 24 hours if it sucked.
The
It's fine.
interesting the interesting thing to me about
Snapchat of
Snapchat
you
is
right now.
it's like if you record that and if you make a bunch of videos, it's not like you're filling someone's feed with it. They opt into watching it. It's like, oh, I see that Burnie made these videos in the grocery store. I do want to watch that. And it's not just like all presented to you in a linear fashion.
We did a Facebook stream this morning.
Yeah.
Everyone's into that at the moment. We had a lot of viewers. It's like 5,000 viewers just. On.
Oh, Facebook's huge for that.
Yeah.
It's a little scary how quickly they took that over. What do you got on there?
She's just doing the filters.
One of those stupid funny faces?
And he laughs. So I'm going to pick the winner for the feed.
Go for it.
So congratulations, Corey Matter at Mater62. You have won the
Woohoo!
trivia contest
Won.
tonight. So we're going to send you all of the GIF. We're going to send you all of the swag from Pizza Hut, including scarves, shirt, hats, sunglasses. I think there's pillowcases in there. And you'll also get the $25 gift card.
Also, it bugs the hell out of me that you
thank you.
said the winner was Corey Matter
I did it on
then
purpose.
at Twitter Mater62. I'm like,
I wasn't sure which it was, so I said both.
is it Matter or is it Mater?
That's
Mader.
It doesn't matter.
Mader?
Yeah,
I would say Mater.
Mater.
Mater. Corey Mater.
Mater. I was going to say that was a word, but it's not a word. It's like, that's a word. It's
Mater62.
Maybe
What is
people-
your favorite word?
swing. I like that there's a word that it ends in ing, but if you take it off, it's just sw. So I just like to think about it as swing. Like,
Swooting.
you get, yeah, what are you doing? I'm swinging.
No, but you say swinging.
I know you say swinging. Swing is my favorite word. I want to point out that I was ready to go with my answer as soon as you asked that question. It has
Yeah.
always been my favorite word.
That's
Do you have a favorite word?
Swing is a
honestly,
silly word to me.
I like any word that ends in NGE.
I would think you like kludge.
Well, that's not a word.
Binge.
Clunge.
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 What
Yeah.
about
NG.
binge?
Binge, you said earlier. Binge is good. Munge, that's not
Munge.
a real word. You know, blancmange.
Blancmange. All right, what about you? Any favorite words? Gus?
I don't think I have any favorite words.
I do. Nifty.
Enclave.
Enclave.
Nifty?
Nifty.
Exclave.
Why nifty?
Because you say it and you can't help but smile.
I also
Nifty.
like I like trellis.
Nifty.
Trellis is good.
Trellis. It's just like, what's that? It's a trellis. Yeah, it is.
I like any word that you say enough times and it just doesn't sound like a word anymore.
Fork.
That's every word though, right?
Yeah, just like everything that just loses all meaning.
Yeah, it's
Or
just,
you
you're,
say
you're
spelled
just
out.
making a shape with your mouth, and then I just become very self-conscious about what my mouth is doing when I say a word over and over.
You know what I was thinking about?
One.
Yeah.
We got on this topic. At what point do you think? I don't know if it's ever happened yet, but what point in the future will people start to call the alphabet like the letter emojis? Like, at what point will emojis take over for the word letters or alphabet?
How old is emoji?
It's not that old.
It's got to be 3 years.
No,
Oh, I
it's
thought it
older
was
than
like
that.
decades old.
Well, there's emoticons.
Emoticons are different than emojis.
That were the first things, and then emojis kind of just came about at some point.
Well, there was an emoji
but
keyboard.
AIM had emojis,
But it's Japanese.
Yeah,
but they were called emoticons.
Yeah.
Emojis are something specific.
But they're built into like stuff. So they've been around a while.
How?
Why?
old?
So
Because it's built in.
Emoji have
That stupid rainbow barf thing on Snapchat's built into Snapchat. It hasn't been around for very long.
emojis actually have some
Built
really
in.
good
Who cares? The building it in
uses.
is how you make it to begin with.
So
What, did you find him on the street? You fucking dumb Brit.
the best use case for emojis that I can think of is something that I do. I have a hard time communicating with my in-laws because they don't speak English very well. But if like we're texting, they can communicate via emoji, and I can understand what they mean or what they're saying.
Pile of poo.
I saw a
Or one of
shirt
this.
that you would love. Do you know what the shirt is?
No.
It's a traveler's shirt with just a bunch of like symbols, but it's rows of like 40 different symbols. And it just looks like a designed shirt, doesn't look like anything crazy. But when you point at it, you realize it's like international symbols for things. Not the standardized ones, more modified ones, but it's very clear like, I need food, I need a bathroom, where can I catch a car?
That's good.
Like stuff like that. So you just point at your shirt when you see something.
Could I get a shirt that just like in all the most popular languages just says "Give me beer,"
Dude,
and you can be like,
Oh,
I would-
that's awesome.
What is the universal symbol for play?
"It's really good."
yeah, so you just point at it and you're like, that's it. And
The
it
little
becomes
arrow
clear.
button.
I love that shirt.
It's a great. I thought you would like
good
that
shirt.
shirt. It's very functional, and it's not. It sounds like it's going to be really gross, right?
No,
but
it's great.
It's actually a great shirt.
So you're saying play is a triangle.
I would say yeah, it's that sideways triangle. Play.
Sideways triangles.
You mean
apply?
like play like a
Yeah, like
Like
the
a
universal
DVD.
symbol for play is always a triangle.
It's the YouTube thing.
Pointing
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way you're
Right.
Pointing right.
forwards.
Pointing right.
What's the universal symbol for stop?
Square.
Square.
So why isn't a stop sign a square, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, why did they make a stop button octagon?
Did those
Stop button.
exist?
Stop button on
right
the
other thing.
Those existed before
Gavin.
VCRs, I guess.
Yeah. They must
And a pause is a stop button that's cut in two,
Is that what that is?
isn't it? I feel like stop is
it's just someone
disappearing.
going like this.
Like you never have stop and pause anymore together like you used to. It's always one or the other.
Somebody pointed out just recently, and once again, I think we talked about this podcast, but the power symbol is both the on and off combined.
Right. The 1 and
The
0.
circle with the 1 through the top of it. That little power symbol that's on buttons, it's on and off. So they just combined the 1 and the 0 for on and off into one symbol.
Oh.
It's brilliant.
Yep.
Simple.
Apparently, emojis originated in Japanese mobile phones in the late 1990s.
Were they built in? Or were did they just like include them in a sheet?
They just said originating on Japanese mobile phones.
Okay,
So
they're on
that's
the
why
outside
I-
of the
A lot
phone.
of the symbols are like sushi and
They might have been outside of the phone. Then they built them in later. That's when they became
I
a
looked
thing.
up why it's a square, and it makes total sense. So the play button, you think about it as a triangle, right?
Yeah.
Facing to the right. That the triangle indicates which direction the tape head moves. It's all tape.
Oh, because there was auto reverse too. Sometimes would go the
And
other way.
the stop is the triangle with the triangle, like the very tip cut out. It's if you think about the triangle is supposed to be a square with a triangle like playhead on it.
Like going forward.
Right. And the stop is just with the triangle tip cut off.
I think
So
the
it's just a
modern play
square.
button though is just the triangle part.
Right. It used to be the square with the triangle tip on
Right.
it. And it just has evolved so that there's no longer the square on it. And it doesn't make sense, but that's why it was that way originally.
Interesting.
Where it gets really messed up is fast forward, which is 2 arrows. But then they got some ones that were like skip, which is the line.
and then you've
there's
skip is a line.
well, it's an arrow that points at a line,
Oh,
right?
and if you've got a line with an arrow,
It's frame by frame.
it's slow mo.
yeah.
Well, yeah, frame
sorry,
by frame.
slow-mo. Your thing.
Oh, that should have been a part of my logo.
Yeah, it would have been good. You redesign your logo.
Well, yeah,
It's time.
Why not? Do it. New logo for you.
let's do it.
I want to redesign the logo for the Rooster Teeth podcast too.
You gonna take out the rooster and the teeth?
Nope. That microphone though at the beginning is just like that 3D microphone we have. I think we could do something different there.
Because we've never once used a microphone that looks like that.
Yeah, see exactly. That we actually have that microphone now, and it's on the spot
Yeah.
set. They have that microphone.
This would be a very
on
pretty
John's desk.
logo.
No. Also, that logo it's like
Doing that, I'm sure that sounds terrible.
it's like that logo is really cool and it looks great in that 3D intro. But then it's like when I see it like on pint glasses and stuff, it doesn't look as good. Like the off-topic logo was designed 2D and designed flat, and it looks really cool that way. But it also looks good in 3D. I think our current like the Rooster Teeth podcast logo, I think it just looks good in 3D. You know, it doesn't look as good in like 2D or things like that. I see it a lot of times on like, shirts or something like that.
Yeah.
Does anyone own that? The line and the triangle? Like if I just put only that on a shirt, does someone have that?
YouTube has. I got the YouTube one right here. Oh, over here.
Over there.
It's got a little.
Country is
You don't
that?
even, you don't think about it very often, but it's got at the top of the arrow here. It's got like a little gray shadow.
So like the white is in the red.
Is that what it is? Is that what
I
it's supposed to
I
look
see
like?
it as like the white has been slightly pushed into the red.
It really doesn't do anything for me in depth at all. It just looks like
Really?
a little gray shadow. Yeah, I don't even know what it's meant to convey.
It is
Maybe,
fascinating how much
maybe,
effort
yeah.
is put into companies' logos that
Dear
you don't
Lord.
even see. Like Amazon has the arrow that goes from the A to the Z because they've got like everything.
We got everything from A to Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The craziest one, and we've talked about this many times, is the FedEx logo with that fucking arrow inside of it.
Nah,
Yeah.
Baskin Robbins is still the best one to me.
The
The
FedEx
31?
with the arrow in it.
yeah, it's got the B
Yeah,
and the R in
FedEx.
it.
Between the E and the X, there's an arrow.
Oh yeah.
Moving to the right because that's where your package is going. To the right.
To the right, to the right.
See between the E and the X.
Yeah.
What if you got something
is that
delivered to you?
intentional?
Yep.
What is the one service that, like, when you see it, oh, we shipped your package via, what is it that you go, oh, shit?
USPS.
DHL.
Yours is DHL.
USPS.
USPS.
It's USPS, right? I put that in a tweet the other day, and people were like,
Oh, it's dog, and you can't control that with Amazon.
right.
So if you're expecting it soon, it says tracking number USPS. You're like, oh, see that in a couple
At least
of weeks.
USPS, which is United States Postal Service, it's the post office. At least now they have, like, some functions that the private carriers have had for years, like tracking.
Yeah, but their tracking sucks.
Yeah, but their tracking
it updates
sucks.
days later.
Yeah, the tracking
I
sucks.
had a package I was expecting a couple of months ago, and in the tracking, it was like, in Austin, no update for like 2 weeks. Eventually, I go to the post office. I'm like, I'm expecting this package. It says it's in Austin. It's like, hold on. They disappear for half an hour, and they come back there. Here you go.
Wow.
It's like, what? Where was it? They're
Yeah.
like,
Not like that.
you just needed to come pick it up. Like, why didn't anyone fucking tell me? Why isn't it on the tracking status? It says, go get your fucking package.
I saw one of the best things ever, Gus, which will make you frustrated because it's way better than your experience. It was either UPS or FedEx, I can't remember who, and it said attempted delivery, and it required a signature, and then written like over the disclaimer on it or whatever, the guy had written in marker, I'll be at the Burger King having lunch from 2 to 3 if you want to come get your package. And the guy like went to Burger King.
That's awesome.
And got his package. I'm
That's
like,
top.
That's
That's
an
awesome.
awesome dude.
That's dedication.
That's an awesome dude. Like,
I
I would
went
have
to-
totally bought that guy's Burger King.
I went to pick up something that at USPS because it was attempted delivery and they didn't want to deliver again. And I went there and they were like, we left it with your landlord. And I was like, okay, I don't have one. I mean, I don't have a landlord.
Yeah.
And then they went off and came back. And then they're like, yeah, we left it with your landlord. And I was like, no, I'm telling you, I don't. And then she just repeated it again. And I was like, I guess this is as far as this conversation goes. I'll see you later. And I had the company resend the goods.
So is there just a dude or a chick like pretending to be your landlord wandering outside your place?
All right,
I
I was
would
doing
love
my
if
head in. I'm like summarizing that story, but I was getting really annoyed. I was like, it's like I'm talking to a chatbot who doesn't know any other information.
Right.
If you're a human, and I am one too, wouldn't you be annoyed? It's with your landlord, and was like making like really mouthy comments. I was like, or like, over pronouncing it like I'm an idiot.
Where
I was
did you
like,
live at this point in time? Did you live by yourself or was it you lived
No,
in
live with Meg. In
So
my
it's a
house.
house.
in your house?
So it's
That I
fairly
own.
It's your
recently.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just been like,
So-
I own a home. I am the landlord.
She would have just said to me the same thing that she'd already said.
That's so weird.
Some people, you can't break them out of that.
Yeah, in the end, I was just like, and I just turned 180 and walked out the door, and I just was like, I can't get the things you sent me. You need to send them again.
I've got a similarly frustrating story. I'm going to read this first,
Okay.
and then I'm going to talk about it. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by. So one time, I held my mail. Where I was going to be out of town for a couple of weeks. Esther and I were going to be out of town for a couple of weeks. So we told the post office, you can fill out a form online. You say, I'm going to be I don't want my mail delivered on these dates.
Well, why don't you just come back to it? What's the issue?
I don't want someone to steal my mail. I don't want someone to
Oh,
think
because
I'm
it's
not
outside in a
home. Right.
mailbox.
So I just had the mail held. And then we came back from our out-of-town trip. They deliver, at the end of it, they deliver all of your accumulated mail. Mm-hmm. So they deliver all the mail, and I look at it, and it's someone else's mail. And I'm like, oh, this isn't my mail. This is someone else held their mail, and it ended today, but this is theirs. So I go down to the post office, and it takes fucking forever. I wait in that goddamn line, and eventually they come out, and I'm like, hey, I had my mail held. Here is the confirmation for my mail hold. There it is. You gave me this mail. This mail belongs to someone else.
Was it any relation to your address?
No,
Like
totally different part of town.
Okay.
I was like, where is my mail? I would like my mail. You probably have it in the back. They took that other mail. They're like, oh, thank you. And they just like closed the door. I was like, wait. I had to ring it again. I was like, you all still have my mail. Here's the hold mail. You have my mail somewhere. I was gone for 2 weeks. I know I have mail. Where is it? And they're like, your mail carrier must have it. Like, okay, right. I understand you said that, but the mail carrier would have delivered it today, right? They delivered the other mail I just gave you. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, the mail I just gave you, like before you close the door, that's the mail they put in my box. They're like, oh yeah, your mail carrier has it. Wait, he'll deliver it tomorrow. I was like, okay, I know this is a mistake.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'll wait and I'll see if they deliver it tomorrow. The next day comes, I get like one letter. Like, that's not my mail. I go back down to the post office, like, hey, remember we talked yesterday? No. Okay. My mail was held for 2 weeks. I got this. Oh, that's all you got then? Like, no. I was gone for 2 weeks. I must have had my mail. Like, where is it? They're like, oh yeah, you probably just didn't get anything.
What?
That was their answer, was I probably didn't get anything for 2 weeks. I never got that mail. I never got 2 weeks worth of mail because they fucking lost
Could have
it.
been a check in there or something.
Who knows? It's in a fucking black hole.
That's like trying to return something and then being like, do you have the receipt? And you're like, yeah, here it is. And they just go, do you have the receipt? And they're like, I just gave it to you. Like, oh, you need the receipt, sir.
What-
Do you have it?
One time I went to a Home Depot. I had bought cable, like coax cable. And I had gone to Home Depot, I bought this coax cable, went home, ended up I didn't need it. So I didn't even like take the coax out of the package. So like, I'm just gonna go return this cable. Went back to the Home Depot. I was like, hey, I bought this cable yesterday. Here's my receipt. Can I just have a refund? They were like, we don't sell this. I was like, I bought it at this Home Depot yesterday. here is the receipt. I paid for it. They're like, we can't take this back. We don't sell this brand. I was like, but I fucking paid for it.
Can you just put it back on the shelf and be like, this is where it was with all the
I
other
showed
ones?
them. I had to take them, and they were like, and they were right. There was no other of that brand on the shelf. I was like, this is where I grabbed it from. They're like, we don't sell that. Look, it's not there.
Do you think someone came in with that cable and put the tag on it?
I don't know.
Maybe you're a time traveler.
But it's like, I was like, how can you charge me for it if you don't sell it?
Yeah,
and
it
how can
wouldn't
you
have
not
been-
give me my money back? Like I've got the receipt.
The barcode wouldn't have scanned if they didn't carry that.
You know what I
item.
would have done? I would have walked up to another register and said, I'd like to buy this. And then when they ring it up, go, oops, I meant I want to return it. Because clearly if they scanned it again, it would come up as being able to be bought.
Yeah,
Right?
I should have done that. I was just so flabbergasted.
What happened though?
Eventually they had to like call their manager, and the manager was like, we don't sell it. And I think I walked away from it. It was just
No.
like, yeah, it was like,
I would have been like, look at the security footage of this time yesterday.
but I had a receipt. Like I had proof.
You would have? You just told the story about walking away from the post office because they wouldn't
Well, I
give
was
you
talking to a robot.
It was like $7, and I was like, I'm not getting the $7 back.
But
obviously.
the story's way better. The
Yeah,
story's
it's
way
like,
better
I'm
than the
ju- I'm
$7.
just-
Did you go
What
all the
was
way
the
back
thing?
there?
What was it?
coax cable.
That was coax cable.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
go
fuck
back
that.
there just to return it?
Yeah.
You don't value your time very highly, do you?
$7.
I mean, $7 fair play. You get lunch with that, but you're really gonna get in your car and drive
principle.
somewhere for
It's
$7?
principle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't use it.
Yeah. Principle.
I mean,
What's he going to do? He's going to throw it away? That's the other thing, too, is I can never bring myself to, like...
I just keep stuff.
No, but then I keep it, and then it's just clutter, and then I just got to deal with it.
You
like-
sometimes need coax.
Last week the week before last week when I thought we were going to do the steak off and I brought those steaks and I was ready to cook them. When I found out we weren't doing the steak off, I still made the steaks anyway and gave them to the crew. You're welcome, fuckers. You're welcome. And it's because it's like throwing away meat is like, that's the lowest feeling to me is when I throw away meat that I didn't use. Like maybe I bought a chicken breast and I didn't cook it in time and it went gammy in the fridge and I got to throw it away. I just feel that is the worst feeling to me, that I'm throwing away like the meat from some animal.
Because the animal died for no
And I
reason.
just didn't like it. So
Died
it's like
for
the
your
principle
sins.
of it. Like, so sometimes
guess
you would
you would
through my
be-
fridge and just...
You would be annoyed if someone killed you, refrigerated you, and then just dumped you in the trash
Like,
bag.
Bernie's got freezer burn on him.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if just getting attacked in the jungle, you get attacked, and I'm sure there's a lot of humans throughout history that have been killed by an animal because the animal was hunting. But it's like the idea that something would kill you and eat you and end your life because it was just hungry that day. It's gonna be hungry tomorrow too, but it's like it was just hungry today, so it just killed you and ate you. That'd just be like, it's horrifying, really, when it comes down
It's
to it.
more horrifying if they killed you and then just walked away from you.
Well, yeah, something about the motivation for killing you is just because it's hungry.
You
know
seen
what
the
I
new
mean?
Jungle Book yet?
No, I haven't. It's got dark. Does the kid get eaten by an orangutan?
No,
or
it's
something?
just, there's a lot of animals that fight during it, and it reminded me of that.
I did see Zootopia. Have you seen that?
No,
Fucking
I
tremendous.
heard.
Tremendous.
I saw pixels on the plane.
Sorry.
What'd you think?
Didn't
Why?
like it. Because it was on a really long flight.
But did you think it was as garbagey as people were saying?
Yes.
I remember
I like Adam Sandler. I like the way he does his funnies. I like the way he just yells sometimes and like that sort of really sarky character.
Uh-huh.
I just want that. I want like that movie. I don't want like a big dumb thing.
What kind of character was he in Pixels?
He was that. It's just there's so much other crap going on. I like Big Daddy. I think that's a good movie.
Big Daddy. I don't even know. What
Yeah,
that
with
is.
that kid who he his friend adopts or something.
Yeah, because he just like yelling at the kid and it's funny. Happy Gilmore's good.
Happy Gilmore. That's what I did the interview with him for.
Good movie.
Yeah, that was a good one. Hey, we put out a trailer today for the new Let's Play Live event.
Yeah.
There was 4 different trailers, 4
Yeah.
little variants.
I made a mistake when we were filming that.
What'd you do?
Well, there was really no choreography at the beginning. When everyone runs in, you just kind of have to fight. Like people were just doing whatever
Really?
when they got in the middle. Yeah, and then we like customized actual specific bits on the close-ups. But the main like run in and fight was just like see what happens. And I thought it'd be funny if I just run laps around the fight holding a grenade. You know, so every time I would run like 5 laps
You
around
do
this thing
laps.
in the heat, and I was like, whoo,
Yeah.
after each take. And we did that like 8 times. And by the end of it, I was like, I'm dying out here because and you can see me like in all the close-ups, you just see me like running through the background because I was doing it every single time.
I remember
It was
watching
awful.
from afar, thinking you were holding your cell phone, filming yourself during.
Oh,
that whole
really?
thing.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
seems to
what
make
is
sense,
fucking
too.
prick. Like, doesn't
So-
even have a weapon.
It's I can't believe we're doing it again. Let's Play Live at the Dolby Theater
Yeah, are you
in
gonna
Los
die?
Angeles. I don't really do a lot of event stuff anymore. Bethany's taken over.
Thank
Oh,
God
yeah.
for that.
All of that.
Jesus
Poor
Christ.
Bethany.
So yeah, Bethany's been planning it. We went out there. It's a beautiful venue. I mean, it's where they held the Oscars. I think they just did the Civil War premiere there. Like any big,
It's gonna be awesome.
like Hollywood thing is always there at the Dolby Theater. It's a great venue, and we're super excited to be bringing it back. It's June 17th, which is right after E3. I think it's really good timing, and we've got
A few
some
weeks before RTX.
few weeks
Yeah.
before RTX.
A few weeks after Kinda Funny Live 2, which is also selling tickets right now.
Yes, we've got a couple of super crazy ideas we're working on. Oh, that's the
Wow.
Dolby Theater right there. And so we've got a couple of super
Look at
crazy
that,
ideas
Gavin. You're
we're
gonna be on
working
stage there.
And
How about a trip?
So tainted.
we're really excited to do it again.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, man.
I'm really excited because I'm doing less of it, and Bethany gets to do it.
Are you going?
Wait, Gus, we're also very excited that you're doing less of it. and
Probably.
Bethany
I
is doing
thought-
more.
I feel like you're more excited than anyone about that.
I thought I was going to die the last time.
You were having like stress dreams and crap.
Pretty excited.
I thought I was dying, but it was fun. It worked out
It's one of those
in
things
the
that's
end.
fun after the fact.
Yeah, I can look back and I'd be like, okay, it worked.
How many steps did you say you took that day?
I think that
During
day
this,
I walked 10 miles and I never left that building.
Yeah.
Like only in the ACL Live Theater, I walked 10 miles in one day. That's awful. It's fucking terrible. But it's gonna be fun. So buy tickets now. Go to roosterteethlive.com.
Let's Play Live 2 is going to be tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Everybody who went to Let's Play Live, the first one, had an absolute blast.
And we have a lot more of this collaborations, which is why we made so many different announcement videos for it. You know, with all the different groups who are going to be participating out there.
I love the kind of funny intro where they hop out of that truck.
Oh yeah.
They're just
So funny.
so funny.
I love when Nick Scarpino is trying
Yeah.
to insult you guys, and he's like
It's been really funny.
something
with massive
about like
cocks.
massive cocks and really funny guys, and he's like, "Wait, what? Like, is that not right?"
It's fucking funny. They were
He's a
all
great
great.
dude.
And Greg's entrance line is so great in their video. It's just tremendous.
I like when
By
they
the
come
way,
out of the truck like this.
kind of funny. They got so sunburnt that day. These guys from Northern
Yeah,
California.
everyone
Tim.
went so red.
Yeah.
Tim was
Like-
really burnt.
Okay.
Bicep down was
Did
just
either of
scorched.
you go out there when they were filming it?
Nah, I
it was
wouldn't go
like
near those
walking
guys.
into a sea of white men.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there was what, like 20 of you? 25 people?
More, I think. Yeah. Like,
So you're
And
saying it was a
especially
reflection.
Yeah, including the crew.
They
and
reflected
everybody.
off each other? Is that what you're saying?
They did. It was like a mirage.
There's not a bounce board needed that day. Everybody was well lit and reflective. But I'm Kind of Funny 2 is taking place
kind of funny
in
live.
Oh, what did I say?
Kind of funny too.
Oh, Kind of Funny Live. Kind of
Two.
Funny Live 2 is taking place in San Francisco,
picky.
and that will be May 28th, I believe, right?
Yes.
So-
It's a 2-day event. I'm gonna double check.
Yeah,
It's
28th is a show, 29th is the meet and greet and podcast and things. And so if you want tickets to that, you can go to kindoffunny.com/tickets. And I will be at that. Gus, you'll
I'll
be
be
there
there.
as well.
And it's gonna be at the Regency Ballroom in San Francisco. And any excuse to go to San Francisco, I love.
I've never
So,
been to San
what do you do in San
Francisco.
Francisco? I'm going this week.
I eat a lot of food. There's a lot of good food I like in San Francisco.
Is that good sushi?
Yeah, they have good sushi.
Can I make a recommendation? You should go to Underdogs. It was right across the street from where Ash lived when she lived in San Francisco. And they have tacos there that are just great. Underdogs. And it's just good tacos. There was a place we would go to get a lobster roll, too. And that place closed down. So we're sad.
Oh.
Super sad. So don't go there.
Tell us more about the places we can't go to.
Go to Umami. You ever been to Umami Burger?
I've never eaten at an umami burger.
You should do it. They have them in San Francisco. They have them in LA, too, but they have them in San Francisco.
Too big.
What?
Too big. Too greasy.
Really? Forget it. Gavin, he probably got food poisoning from it. Gus, he probably made him sick.
I've realized that I just don't like burgers. I like a McDonald's one that's really flat and thin meat.
What did
but
you
I don't
just
like.
say?
I don't like big fat meat with grease and like bacon that's not bacon.
Do
Like
you-
crap American
Bacon
bacon.
that's
would
not
really
bacon?
like-
Well, American bacon isn't bacon.
You'd probably really like Sandy's then. It's a burger joint here.
I
in
like the
Austin.
thinner burgers, too.
They have
Like when you go to
thin
somebody's
burgers.
barbecue and they cook the big thick ones.
I don't like to
You don't like
strain.
those either, Barb?
No,
my
I don't like,
jaw.
I don't like big thick burgers.
You don't want to be bothered.
No, it might have like a small mouth.
I'm also weird. I like medium rare ground beef, and a lot of places won't cook it rare.
Because it's bad meat.
It's a really bad idea to do that. Yeah, because that bacteria is essentially
you
it
can-
thrives on surface area, and there's a lot of surface area in ground beef.
We
But
should
you
have
can
a
eat
burger
beef
off.
raw anyway.
What's that?
You can eat raw beef.
Yeah, but it's the surface area, the surface of it that gets the bacteria on it. And then when they grind it up, they basically just grind up all that stuff in there. That's why if anything ever has like an E. coli outbreak or something, it's usually ground beef.
But
ground beef is
you're
one of
saying you can't get minging beef in the middle of the burger?
yeah. Not in the middle of the burger.
Yeah, in the middle of the
burger is
steak.
ground beef. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I am saying that. Like
Because
when
there's no surface that's revealed.
it's less likely.
Also, if you have like an infected or a diseased piece of meat, it gets ground up, and then that one bad piece can be conceivably
Mixed in with a bunch of other stuff
mixed
too.
into like many different pieces.
But like when you ever had a dry aged steak?
I assume once,
The-
twice.
Don't look up how they make that, because basically they just take a regular steak and they leave it out in nice dry conditions for about 38 days. And then when it gets all black and moldy, they just cut that part off and then grill the rest of it for you.
Well, it's like cheese, isn't it? You
Yeah,
just cut
it's
them layer
except
of
it's
mold
meat. So it's like it's pretty gross when you see the actual process of dry aging stuff.
Does wine ever go bad?
I think
Yes.
it does. Yeah.
Once you open it, for sure. Or you mean ever, like if you leave it capped?
Yeah. Like, what is the oldest bottle of wine right now?
I don't know.
And would it be good? Or would it turn to sludge?
I don't know.
Didn't they?
I think it
didn't
goes a
some-
long time.
I think some archaeologists found like a jug of wine from like an old Greek vessel that was sunk, and it was like sunk in such a way, and the pressure at the bottom of the ocean was just right to preserve it for
Interesting.
a couple thousand years. But I think that's an anomaly. Like that normally does not happen.
What is the oldest?
I'm really fascinated by those
Bottle
videos
of
where
wine.
people just eat an old MRE from like,
Yeah, I don't know how they
the
do
80s
that.
or 90s.
I
It's
feel like I have an iron stomach, and like the guy who drinks the Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah.
No fucking way. No way I'm doing that. Not in a million years. I mean, I wouldn't eat like something that's.
It's pretty fascinating though, especially when it has like all the old branding too. It's like, oh my god, this is like a relic.
I looked up expiration date on fruit because I had some fruit in my fridge, and it was like, I know this fruit's been here like 45 days, but if it's not crinkly and it's not like all rotten looking, it's got to be fine, right? So I looked it up. Apples keep like 6 months.
Bollocks.
In the dude, when people
Oh, in
would
the fridge?
pick apples and they put them in the bushels, that they'd store that shit for winter, dude.
What's a bushel?
It's a measurement of apples.
But,
It's a fuckload of apples. Is what it is.
So how do you put them in it?
The classic.
It's a
buttload.
bucket, and you just put the apples in.
That's like saying an egg is good if you keep it in a dozen. Isn't that the
yeah,
same
It's a
thing?
lot of apples, and they just put them
Yeah, but so
together.
is a dozen eggs.
Well,
only
see,
good
if
'cause
I
you
said I
keep
had a
all the other
dozen eggs for 6 months, then that would be the same conversation,
What
wouldn't it?
is wrong with milk in America?
Why?
Well, A, it tastes weird,
It's real milk.
and B, it lasts forever. I've got some milk in my fridge that expires on like the first week of June. That's not normal.
There is
Expiration dates
there's-
have gone up.
There's one brand that does that. Is it the red box Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cow jumping on the front.
Why does that milk last
That
so long?
milk is organic and it lasts forever. I have
I'm
no idea why.
used to
That's
milk-
the only milk I buy.
Maybe it,
because
really?
I don't drink a lot of
Does
it.
bag milk last a long time?
Bag milk.
it lasts the same as normal milk.
Canada, they drink milk out of bags, and that's it.
Yeah, we got bagged milk.
We have Milkman like delivery bottles that you just get. You wake up to new milk every day because milk lasts about 2 days and then it's scammy.
Well, that's
Because
why it
real
tastes
milk.
weird to
That's
you.
the
'cause
milkman
you're
spreading misinformation.
You're buying organic milk. That's why it tastes weird.
So organic milk lasts longer.
I guess
That
so.
stuff does. It's ultra pasteurized.
No bacteria in it.
Well, I
It's
got
not like the
bacteria in my
normal milk you
fridge.
buy that's filled with bacteria.
I just I don't like the
what
fact
gives
that
it
it
the
lasts so
taste.
long.
I like the fact that it lasts so long.
June?
It's convenient.
Imagine what could happen between now and
I think-
June. The milk will still be in there.
Remember one year I went to the grocery store and I texted you a picture of that Horizon milk. I was like, look, this milk goes bad after RTX.
Yeah. And then I shit my pants a little bit.
Yeah, I had that recently when I had to renew my visa last year, and I was like, man, this milk can stay in the US longer than I can because it went past the new year by a long time.
All right, let's wrap this shit up.
All right. Also doing new game time episodes.
Who have you picked?
So it was part of the crowdfunding campaign that we did. I owe 3 more basically. We were going over everything from the Laser Team crowdfunding campaign.
I feel like you're kind of late.
Yeah. No, this was something that like slipped through the cracks. Like I
Yeah.
had done 3 of them, then we shot the movie, and I need to do another 3. I did one with Freddie, I did one with Matt, I did one with Josh Flanagan. So I feel obligated, even though we're ways out, that I should make the next 3 game times Laser Team related. But I'm gonna like stretch that a
I
little
got a
bit.
great idea for who you should do.
You should do Alan.
You should do Ed Robertson on a pinball table.
That would be great, actually. That's a fantastic idea. He's had a couple really good ideas lately. He's a wealth of good ideas, but lately he's had 2 really, really good ones. One is that thing you just said. The other one was when Colton had his baby, he recommended that we make a pair of Laser Team baby boots.
Yeah, little
and
boot
Anna
boots.
Hullum made those, and they are the fucking cutest thing on the planet.
You didn't
I don't
like
have
the
a
Alan
kid and I want
Richardson
those.
idea?
What was your Alan Richardson idea?
Just to Do Alan Richardson
Oh,
on game time.
Everybody's got that idea. The number one person requested is Meg, actually. So watch out, Gavin, because I'll be talking to Meg sometime very soon. She's up for it and wants to do it. And then I don't know. I'll take a look at some other people from there. Probably Chris, because Chris was involved with Laser Team. And then Gus and I already did when we played DayZ.
Yeah.
So I'll figure some out. Meg was in Laser Team. Very briefly, she was in Laser Team. So I'm going to stretch it a little bit.
There you go.
And do that. So we're going to be recording game times very soon. So that'll be back.
I like those. I like that series.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks for
I would
watching,
love
everybody.
to do crowdfunding again for something. Because that was so much fun to be able to do crowdfunding.
Just crowdfund lunch or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A crowdfund a sandwich?
I also we're going over the whole crowdfunding thing, and it's like we want to make sure we hit everything we said we were going to hit.
Ow.
And it's like I was actually surprised. I was like, oh shit, we have these 3 game times, and I need to get those done ASAP. And it's like because every time I read something about crowdfunding, it's about they don't make the thing. They don't.
Yeah.
They take all the money and then they don't make the thing. Like that drone company that went out of business. Did you read the latest thing about this coolest cooler, Gus?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like they got all this money. I think it was the second highest Kickstarter ever. And then they got the cooler done. They're shipping it to retail stores and they're like, oh, if you want yours from the Kickstarter, give us another $90 and we'll ship you one. Meanwhile, they're going to start selling them in stores. Everyone's like, fuck you. We paid for these things. It's like, where are they? It's like, yeah, it just costs more. So we're going to need to sell some in stores to raise money to make the ones that we bought.
Get
for
out.
You
Get the-
That's what they're saying. And if you give them $90, the way they're phrasing it is you'll get express shipping in the first shipment that goes out at the same time or a little bit before retail sales go out.
It's damaging to like legit Kickstarter.
It's damaging to crowdfunding as a whole when people do stuff
it's
like that.
affecting the whole industry.
I'm actually surprised like Kickstarter removed that language about like class action lawsuits. Anything? I'm surprised we haven't seen something from that.
It's got to be coming soon.
From Laser Team?
What are you talking about? What would people be upset with Laser Team for?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, we delivered everything.
I didn't say Laser Team. You said it.
No,
Why are you
'cause you-
explaining it to me?
You said we. Oh, you
I
mean
said we
like
haven't seen
the nation.
as
As a people,
I understand
as
it now.
human beings, we have not seen it.
But he said we, like I was like,
I'm
Rooster
really
Teeth,
disappointed,
what?
Gus, that we haven't been sued by a bunch of people. I'm just like
I'm really disappointed by that too, Burnie.
I was looking forward to that. The part
I
of the
was going to
process.
call you out on that comment that didn't exist, it turned it out.
It really did only exist in your fucking head.
All right.
God
That's it.
damn it.
We're out of here. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
Hey, Gavin.
Bye, I love you.
Come gather round your family, well, maybe not your kids. Burnie tells us stories of all the shit he did. Gus will crack the whip and Barb will surely make a pun. If it goes on long enough, Gavin will say something